Sanders still know it's an uphill battle against Clinton's superdelegates and that Democratic voters in coming contests deserve to have their voices heard, as Hillary Clinton, who spent primary night at home in New York, has also shifted her focus away from Sanders and on Donald Trump. In South Bend, Indiana, Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
It's back to school for kids in Detroit. Their teachers will show up after a 2-day walkout, upset they may not get paid over the summer, but the school district assured them last night they'll get their money. President Obama will go to Flint, Michigan today amid a lead-contaminated water crisis.
During a 5-hour visit to Flint, the president will receive a briefing from federal officials on their response to the city's water crisis, hold a roundtable discussion with Flint residents, and deliver a speech to about 1,000 people at a local high school.
That's Fox's John Decker, who is in Flint, traveling with the president. This is Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
Cloudy skies and rain showers in Chicago. 5:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Officials say an Illinois woman shot in a drive-by shooting on a Wisconsin interstate has been declared brain dead and is only being kept on life support to preserve her organs for donation. Sauk County Coroner Greg Hahn says Tracy Chakowski was pronounced dead early Monday morning. Hahn saying yesterday the condition is unreversible. Chakowski was shot while driving with her family back to their home in Illinois on Sunday after a weekend at the Wisconsin Dells. Police believe the shooting was random, and investigators believe the suspect, Zachary Hayes, also shot and killed a man hours earlier in a Milwaukee suburb. 5 of the 6 men facing charges in the death of a Champaign woman are in custody. Police say the most recent arrest in the Ashley Gibson case happened Monday morning in Columbia, Missouri. Each suspect is accused of dismembering the body of the 24-year-old victim. Proceedings continue for a University of Illinois student accused of suffocating her newborn infant in a dorm bathroom. Lindsey Johnson of Monee appeared in court yesterday on multiple charges, including murder. A 17-year-old Matea Valley High School student is facing felony charges after police recovered an unloaded handgun from his backpack Monday. Police say the boy from Naperville made no threats and told authorities he had no intention to use that gun. A suburban Chicago man freed last year after his conviction for a 1999 murder was thrown out because of invalid evidence is suing Lake County and the city of Waukegan. Jason Strong walked out of the Menard Correctional Center last May after serving 15 years of a 46-year sentence in the death of 34-year-old Mary Kate Sunderland of Carpentersville. The chances of the Lucas Museum coming to Chicago are shrinking by the day. Friends of the Park says it opposes any lakefront site for the project. The organization had sued to block the $743 million museum. An inmate who escaped from a Northwest Indiana jail is in custody. Authorities say Richard Campos and his girlfriend were captured in San Antonio, Texas. A man is in custody after police say he shot at his wife in St. Charles. The victim ran out of the home last night following a domestic dispute. Chicago Public Schools is making clear to its students and parents they can use the bathroom that best matches their gender identity. It's not a new policy for CPS, but the Chief Education Officer, Janice Jackson, made the announcement Tuesday simply to clarify how the existing policy works and making clear the policy also now applies to locker rooms and shared hotel rooms on school trips. Chicago sports. Cubs over Pittsburgh 7-1. Jake Arrieta now 6-0. White Sox top Boston 4-1. They're an American League best 19-8 on the season. White Sox plan to cut John Danks by the end of the day. And Blackhawks center Artem Asimov has had surgery to mend that bad right wrist. The news, a service of Oscar Mayer beef hot dogs. When you think back to your favorite foods growing up, hot dogs are always on the list, especially Oscar Mayer hot dogs. But as you get older, you want to start eating more like a grown-up. That's why Oscar Mayer beef hot dogs are made with the great grown-up taste of premium beef. So enjoy a childhood favorite today. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
The Indiana primary is over.
Together, we left it all on the field in Indiana. We gave it everything we've got. But the voters chose another path.
Ted Cruz folds his tent.
We are suspending our campaign.
Now it's Trump.
We're going to love each other. We're going to cherish each other. We're going to take care of each other.
The ride to the White House is crazy.
We're going to win. We're going to win in November.
What happens next happens here. This is your election station, AM 560, The Answer.
It's frustrating when you hand out a business card and don't hear back. When you download the free Bobble app from your app store, the next time someone asks, "Do you have a card?" you can reply, "Do you have a phone?" In just an instant, they'll have an interactive card that, with a touch, connects them to your phone, your website, everything. Imagine free business cards for life that won't get lost or tossed. I'm Scott Cook, excited to introduce to you Bobble, the revolutionary new app that allows you to create a card and send your contact information directly into a prospect's phone without having to enter a single digit. Then, while you're busy running your business, Bobble connects you to new customers. Download the free Bobble app from your Apple or Android app store. When you upgrade to Pro, you'll receive the first 30 days of in-network advertising free. To learn more, visit bobblecard.com. That's BOBL card.com. Bobble Card. The future of business card sharing is Bobble.
Let's get an update on the early morning roads. There's been a few crashes out there overnight. That heavy rain has dropped, slicking up the roads in our Guardian Security Services Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, Mike. And thankfully, those crashes, for the most part, have cleared. Everything is fine now on the Ryan. There was an earlier crash. There's also some police activity near Pershing, but everything is open again in that area. The only significant delays we're seeing are on the Indiana Toll Road with those resurfacing issues in Porter and LaPorte County. Speeds are reduced a bit due to the rain. In Griffith, there is a crash reported on Klein Avenue southbound, just north of 8094. There's some overnight roadwork in place on the outbound Bishop Ford on 159th and also on the southbound Tri-State just south of 190 near O'Hare. Traffic as a service of Grasshopper, the entrepreneur's phone system. Turn the world into your office with Grasshopper, the entrepreneur's phone system. Get a local or toll-free number or bring your own. You can even have your voicemails transcribed and emailed to you. See how it works at grasshopper.com, the entrepreneur's phone system. Despite the rain, most flights are on schedule at Chicago's airports. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer starts next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center. Here's our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Partial sunshine today with a late afternoon shower in spots with a high of 68. Then a couple of showers mainly later tonight with a low of 46. Tomorrow, breezy and cooler with a shower in the area during the day with a high 53. Then clearing at night with a low 39. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Currently 49 at O'Hare with a thunderstorm. 48 along Chicago's lakefront. Your next news update, 5:30. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Power Trading Radio. Heard Sundays at 2 p.m. Brought to you each week by Online Trading Academy.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So it's happened. It's down to a two-person race. Donald Trump and John Kasich.
Yeah, John Kasich.
No,
he's in fourth.
I'm kidding.
Well, I know. I tweeted that out last night that he's in fourth place, but the second man in the race. Well, he hasn't dropped out yet.
He's in fourth place in a one-man race.
Well, if it's him and Trump, it's a two-man race. All right. Anyway.
Yeah. So John Kasich is so irrelevant. Trump hasn't even bothered to ridicule him. Don't think that's because he's looking at him as a VP. He may be, but certainly people he's looking at as a potential running mate are not immune to his ridicule. So Donald Trump wins a 16-point walk away in Indiana yesterday.
180,000 votes.
And Ted Cruz walks away.
We left it all on the field in Indiana. We gave it everything we've got. But the voters chose another path. And so, with a heavy heart, but with boundless optimism for the long-term future of our nation, we are suspending our campaign.
Who saw that coming? 312-642-5600. I did not think that was going to happen. Did you?
Yeah, I wasn't surprised. There was
I was surprised.
There
I
were
fell
some
off the
rumblings.
couch.
There were some rumblings that was going to happen. I mean, there's no path forward, and these margins are only going to get bigger. In addition to of the handful of states left, Ted Cruz agreed not to participate in 2 of them.
Right.
With John Kasich. So
John Kasich's still participating.
So I suppose you could say, I mean, you know, there was an argument to be made to stay in and continue to pile up some delegates and give yourself that much more leverage. But then there's also an argument, particularly if it's being reinforced by your donors, to say, no, it's time to call it. There's no path forward. This is not going to be a contested convention. He's going to be the nominee. With the 550 some odd delegates you have a place, you have leverage, you're a participant. Bow out gracefully as other candidates have when there was no path forward for them, and perhaps live to fight another day. So that's an eminently reasonable position and reasonable thing Ted Cruz did. But you know what was missing from his speech? That
his mom was sitting in the hole? Did you see his mom? She's got to be like 4 feet tall. Did you see her?
Yeah, sitting behind him?
Yeah, standing behind him. Oh, was she sitting?
Yeah.
Oh,
I thought she was sitting.
Was she in a wheelchair?
I think she was in some kind of chair.
I'm so
type
sorry.
structure.
Okay, can we bleep that out? All right, go on.
Yeah.
What were you saying?
Well, I didn't
the one thing that was missing.
I didn't catch all of his speech.
Oh, I
Cruz's.
did because I was crying.
Was there any? What, you didn't like him?
I know that's what's so wrong with me and other
It was
Republicans
really-
is that we're watching him bow out of the race, thinking, "You've got to be kidding me!" Now Donald Trump. It's when it starts to sink in that Donald Trump is really the nominee. I thought he was going to stay in and fight until the end, at least until past California.
I can only tackle so many subjects at one time. If you want me to tell you what's wrong with the Republican Party and what's wrong with you in the same show, come on.
Get that couch in here.
No, but did Ted Cruz mention Donald Trump's name?
Not once.
Yeah.
Did not say congratulations to him. Donald Trump, by the way, mentioned Ted Cruz's name 3 times.
Yeah.
I counted that, and CNN's reporting this morning that Donald Trump was with his sons, backstage, listening to Ted Cruz's speech, and they had no idea that he was going to be dropping out of the race. So then they changed their speech, his victory speech a few times in order to thank him.
Yeah,
They
right.
didn't see that coming.
But there was perhaps some lingering bad blood, not just what's happened over the last couple of months between the 2 of them. But what happened over the last few hours before polls closed in Indiana? Now, I have a question, and maybe some legal experts or Trump supporters can help me. If Ted Cruz does offer Donald Trump his endorsement, and Donald Trump wants that, if Donald Trump accepts Ted Cruz's endorsement, does that make Trump an accomplice after the fact to the assassination of JFK? I don't know, because remember, there's no statute of limitations on murder, and this was the story that ran through the middle of the day as as Hoosiers were voting, Indianans as you call them.
Thank you. I love my Indianans.
Yeah,
yes.
And it is
unbelievable.
It is just goofy. It is goofy, and Ted Cruz. The most animated you're probably going to ever see Ted Cruz.
Yeah, he finally started yelling, Dan, okay?
Well, he didn't yell. He
raised his voice finally.
He just went through. He unloaded on Donald Trump. And if you somehow missed the story, Donald Trump went on Fox and Friends last night.
Yesterday morning.
Yeah, I'm sorry, yesterday morning, right? Fox and Friends. And was this was happening while we were on the air. And Trump said this.
His father was with Lee Harvey Oswald prior to Oswald being, shot. I mean, the whole thing is ridiculous. What is this, right prior to his being shot? And nobody even brings it up. I mean, they don't even talk about that. That was reported, and nobody talks about it. But I think it's horrible.
Right. There was a picture out there that reportedly shows Rafael Cruz standing with Lee Harvey Oswald.
I mean, what was he doing with Lee Harvey Oswald shortly before the death, before the shooting? It's horrible.
Remember, I brought you that story last week from the National Enquirer, and you just looked at me like, we're not going to talk about that. And I said, well, I'm just saying that now they're claiming that Ted Cruz's father killed JFK.
Well,
or he's friends with Lee Harvey Oswald.
Yeah, what was he doing? It's crazy. I mean, I look forward to a collaboration between Oliver Stone and Donald Trump on the JFK assassination. And then Trump went on radio with Hannity in the afternoon, a very friendly audience, Sean, and doubled down and didn't receive any pushback from Hannity.
This all started on Fox and Friends. I did the show, and they showed me something, Brian and Steve and, the group, they showed me something that was frankly, I thought inappropriate, as said by the father. And I think most people agree with me. And then in the meantime, as you know, there was a picture a few weeks ago, and it was all over the place, about Lee Harvey Oswald and his father a few months before.
Was that verified ever? I saw that there was something on the internet.
It was a picture put in, and they wouldn't put it in if they could be sued. That I can tell you. They're very big professionals. And
oh yes,
professionals. They accused Ted Cruz of having 5 affairs. They're not professionals.
The National Enquirer will be the paper of record in Trump's America, and it's appropriate because, as he said, in only the way Trump can say, the National Enquirer. They are very big professionals. Oh, baby. And then all that was dispensed with when, as you suggested before, Trump had some kind words in his victory speech for Cruz.
Just so you understand, Ted Cruz, I don't know if he likes me or if he doesn't like me, but he is one hell of a competitor. He is a tough, smart guy. And he has got an amazing future. He's got an amazing future.
Yeah.
Well, Rafael Cruz,
encouraging.
He was on NBC last night and responded to this, that he, was friends with Lee Harvey Oswald, and he's possibly contemplating a defamation suit against Donald Trump. Well, because he was horrified because he said that's not true, and the picture was, superimposed. And it was a joke.
The question is, what goes through your mind, Donald Trump, to go off on this tangent on the day where you are poised to close out the race? I mean, and
that's why he scares me. That's why I don't think I can vote for him. But real quick, Ted Cruz, my favorite thing that Ted Cruz ever said was his response to this. And he raised his voice a little bit, Dan, but you're going to love this.
This is nuts. Yes, my dad killed JFK. He is secretly Elvis, and Jimmy Hoffa is buried in his backyard.
Yeah, right, exactly.
He handled it the only way that he could, with sarcasm, and to point out how ludicrous and stupid Donald Trump is.
It is.
I mean,
it is
mind-blowing. It's numbing to me.
It is nutty. He's right. It is nutty. It's ridiculous. And
he's jealous.
And O.J. Simpson has also suggested that Rafael Cruz is the real killer. Mark and Cicero, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning. I spoke with you on Monday, and Amy said I made a bold prediction when I said Trump would get over 50% in Indiana. I don't know if you remember.
You did.
Yeah, you nailed it.
And now, well, I just heard Amy now. She said that that's whatever Trump said yesterday with Cruz's father. She can't vote for him now, or that's why she can't vote for him. Well, you're going to get what you ask for if you get Hillary. You know what? They have to start making this Supreme Court the heart of the election, because if we lose it, this country's gone. It's gone.
Well,
and one other thing.
Sure.
Yes.
One other thing. I'm surprised, of all people, Dan, that you didn't see it. Did you see Cruz after his speech yesterday? What happened?
No.
Well, Google it. It's just a fitting end to his campaign.
Well, what happened? Don't leave me in suspense.
As he quit, he turned around, and if it was basketball, he would have been thrown out of the game. He gave his wife an
I saw
elbow
that.
in the
Yeah,
cheek.
it was an accident. He was
terrible.
hugging his dad, Raphael, and
Yeah.
Raphael,
So-
he accidentally
right.
hip checked her a little
Thanks
bit.
for the comment. Yeah,
it was
so-
in the face, but Heidi responded, "Well, she's she's
Well, what are we
agile."
talking about? What is it? What, is the accusation spousal abuse? I mean, for God's sakes, can we not all delve into the realm of the absurd?
But Donald Trump got us
analyzing every ridiculous movie. Donald Trump didn't get us here. We got ourselves here. Donald Trump didn't steal the election. He got the overwhelming majority of the votes. We get the representation we deserve.
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Trying to process this all. Your phone calls coming up, 312-642-5600, and more from Ted and Trump. But first, here's your forecast. It's a soggy start to your day. Allow yourself some extra time because the roadways are slick, that's for sure. Rain on and off in areas. And it's going to be mostly cloudy when this rain plows through here, a high only of 52 degrees. Then tomorrow, partly sunny, warmer, a high of 60. And by Friday, we will be in the upper 70s. Busy man today is Jim Talamonte. What do you have for us, Jim?
Well, good morning, Amy and Dan. It would be a good idea, Amy, to get an early start, though right now things are fairly normal. You can expect that to change, though, with the rain and the wet conditions. No significant delays yet on the Edens, the Kennedy, the Eisenhower, Stevenson inbound, the ramp to the inbound Ryan starting to back up. So you'll see some delays there soon. The Ryan's getting a little heavy approaching downtown. Bishop Fort, some slowing from 103rd to the merge. And outbound, there's road work in the two right lanes from 159th to 8094. Tri-State southbound, there's still overnight work. Balboa to Irving Park in the left lane. Illinois Tollway's okay. The Indiana Toll Road has construction delays. There's a crash reported in Griffith on southbound Klein, north of 8094. Jim Talamonte in the Guardian Security Services Traffic Center.
On AM 560 The Answer, we talk about the important issues that affect your world. Things like the economy, education, and foreign policy. There's always so much going on in the news that we don't always have the time to drill down and talk about the big ideas behind the big issues. That's where Upstream Ideas comes in. Upstream Ideas, online at upstream-ideas.com, in partnership with the Illinois Opportunity Project, provides the kind of information that informs the policy discussions happening here on AM 560. At Upstream Ideas, you'll broaden the debate, move beyond partisan assumptions, and challenge accepted orthodoxies. In other words, Upstream Ideas goes against the current and thinks upstream. Go online now to upstream-ideas.com. That's upstream-ideas.com. You'll be armed with new information and fresh perspectives to spur you on to make the state of Illinois and the United States of America a bit more free, a bit more just, and a bit more civilized. Upstream-ideas.com.
Hey, sorry I'm late. I'm the chair for the company picnic committee, and I'm overwhelmed with finding the perfect catering partner.
Don't be freaked out by that. Tasty Catering has done our company picnic every year for the last 5 years. I actually went to Tasty Catering's kitchen first to taste the food. They served juicy burgers right from the grill, fresh salads, awesome sides, and fun foods for the kids. Last year, we even had delicious brisket and an entire pig roast.
Can they handle all the details? There's not much time to plan.
Planning was even easier. Tasty Catering handled every detail, from serving pieces to inflatables for the kids, the DJ, and of course, the bar area.
That's exactly what we're looking for.
Just go to tastycatering.com. The pricing was right, and our CFO signed off on the contract immediately.
The best company picnics start at tastycatering.com. View picnic menus and locations, entertainment options, and more. That's tastycatering.com.
If medications haven't helped you treat your depression, why haven't you tried TMS therapy offered by Theramind? Now there is a way to successfully treat your depression without the need for meds and their harmful side effects. TMS therapy is covered by most insurance, including Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois and Medicare. Don't continue to suffer needlessly. Call Theramind. Don't wait. Call Theramind now. 847-562-5868. The single greatest advancement to date in treating depression is TMS. It's an FDA-cleared, non-drug, safe, and effective treatment. TMS has already changed the lives of over 50,000 patients. Why not you? Visit tmsmind.com. Depression can be beaten, and without drugs. Call Theramind today, 847-562-5868, or get more info at tmsmind.com. That's Theramind at 847-562-5868, or online at tmsmind.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, the one point that Mark from Cicero made before we got off tangent on the accidental elbow from Ted to Heidi, about Trump refocusing the race in the Supreme Court for the purposes of party unity, I think that's a very good point.
Oh, that's what's going to keep me around.
Because if he focuses on conspiracy theories, less likely to engender party unity.
Don't you think the Republican establishment is rolling their heads when he says that Rafael Cruz had something to do with JFK's assassination.
Anybody with a couple marbles rolling around in their head is rolling their eyes. Dominic in Naperville, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, good morning, Dan and Amy. First, I want to say you guys are great. I do think, though, that you're missing the point on one thing.
Okay.
I don't think Trump believes the conspiracy theory at all. I think you're missing the point. Trump is the best counterpuncher that we've never seen. So when Cruz's dad comes out and starts, attacking Trump, and he's not running against Trump, his son is, Trump said, you know what? He's fair game now, too. And he threw one back at him. That's all.
Yeah, I think that's...
Yeah, but the attribution is the National Enquirer.
No. I mean, I think the issue... So, Dominic, you raised a very good point. Trump is a counterpuncher. He's also... and so I agree with that. But doesn't it matter what kind of counterpunch you provide? I mean, the lunacy of that riff that he went on about Rafael Cruz and the JFK assassination, Lee Harvey Oswald, in my mind, it delegitimizes him as a serious person.
Well, the thing about it, though, is he really doesn't believe it, is my point. He was facetiously striking back because, quite frankly, Cruz's dad had no business saying what he said. So he struck back. And the last point I'll make is that's exactly what this country needs right now, because America gets punched from everybody.
Yeah, Dominic.
We need a counterpuncher.
Dominic, thanks for the call. I like a counterpuncher like Floyd Mayweather, who is precise with his counterpunching. Not a guy who's, running around the ring throwing punches wildly. Greg in Schaumburg.
Hey, Dan and Amy, thanks for taking the call. When you go through 8 months of the process that we have just done, you can only conclude that the process is broken. What we have is a process that elects sexy and salacious, the counterpuncher that was just referred to, is able to command the news hour, and thus the whole suite of attributes that's needed in order to put together good policy never gets discussed. And Dan and Amy, neither one of you are sexy. Well, maybe you are sexy or salacious.
Thank you,
so
Greg.
You will never get in.
Thanks, Greg.
Thanks,
I think he was. You're salacious and I'm sexy?
Right.
Is that what he was referring to?
That's our new band name.
That is
Sexy
actually
and
pretty good.
Salacious. Yeah,
Better than
thanks,
Peaches
Greg.
and Herb.
Yeah, you're right.
By the way, to Greg's point, Media Research Center looked at television coverage on the presidential candidates from January 1st through the end of April. Donald Trump, 62%, Ted Cruz, 20%, Rubio, 9%, Kasich, and others. 62% of the television coverage devoted to the candidates went to Donald Trump.
Dan, I have a little bit of bad news. CNN has a new poll that's just came out, but this was completed before Trump's victory last night. It found Clinton leads 54% to his 41%.
Yeah, I don't believe that. Dan and Addison, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hi, Dan and Amy. Well, I just wanted to call, and, you guys have been very detrimental towards Trump this whole time.
Not particularly detrimental. He's doing pretty well in spite of us.
Well, yeah, it's been totally ineffective.
Yeah.
Your detrimental has been ineffective, just like all this TV coverage you just talked about. All that TV coverage is negative.
No, absolutely not. That is just not true. For the Fox News Channel and Ann Coulter and others that have been in the tank for Donald Trump.
Ann Coulter is a very bright person.
We're not talking about whether Ann Coulter is bright or not. We're talking about people with influence that have been in the tank for Trump.
Okay, well, let's just look at how successful a candidate or how attractive a candidate Ted Cruz has been. Now, first of all, and I've been following this very carefully, so let's look at, do you know the facts?
Hey, Dan, let me tell you something. If you hold on through the news, we'll pick this up on the other side, all right?
Okay, all right.
All right, thanks, Dan.
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
It's so important businesses who share conservative values work together and support each other so our companies thrive. If you're a manufacturer, I encourage you to call Laz Kolchar from Automated Systems. As a software and systems integration company, they create custom solutions to make your production lines, facilities, and plants run more efficiently. Imagine less downtime, more speed, and fewer rejects. It doesn't matter if you're a Fortune 500 or a startup. Automated Systems delivers solutions for your toughest automation challenges. At Freedom Summit, Laz wowed the crowd with the story of escaping communism, coming to the U.S., and building a successful company. And I know that Laz and Automated Systems can wow your company by making it more profitable. If you even suspect that Automated Systems could benefit your manufacturing company, then call Laz at Automated Systems at 844-HIRE-ASI or visit automatedsys.com. The number again, 844-HIRE-ASI.
AM 560, The Answer.
And coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, Donald Trump knocks Ted Cruz out of the race.
Who should be Trump's VP? Mike Tyson, John Voight, Bobby Knight. Yeah.
Lou Oltz.
Oliver Stone. Take your calls on that, too, after we check the news with Mike Scott.
Thunderstorm, 48 degrees, and we are watching with you a developing story in Alberta, Canada this morning, where their entire population of the city of Fort McMurray, 90,000 residents, are being evacuated at this moment from the front range of a wildfire that officials say has destroyed already whole neighborhoods in the city of Fort McMurray. The flames continue to make their way into the heart of the city of Fort McMurray. Donald Trump is within reach of the Republican presidential nomination. A big projected victory in Indiana last night.
We had a tremendous victory tonight. It was a tremendous victory.
Forcing Texas Senator Ted Cruz to drop out.
With a heavy heart, but with boundless optimism for the long-term future of our nation, we are suspending our campaign.
For Democrats, the game is on as Bernie Sanders surprises Hillary Clinton.
I would love to run against them, and I'm absolutely confident that not only we would beat them, but we'd beat them by a pretty large number.
Sanders turning his focus on Donald Trump as Republican National Committee Chairman Reince Priebus has called Trump the presumptive nominee. The president heads to Flint, Michigan today. He'll roundtable on the lead water crisis, a bill that would have let Georgia students carry concealed weapons on campus is dead. Governor Nathan Deal, a Republican, vetoes that measure. Major supplier of frozen fruit and vegetables is issuing a recall over concerns about possible listeria contamination dating back 2 years. CRF Frozen Foods sells their brands at Costco, Trader Joe's, and Safeway, among others. Officials say an Illinois woman shot in a drive-by shooting on a Wisconsin interstate has been declared brain dead, is being kept alive to preserve her organs for donation. 5 of the 6 men facing charges in the death of a Champaign woman whose body was hacked apart and dumped in a nearby lake are in custody today. An inmate who escaped from a Northwest Indiana jail is in custody. Richard Campos and his girlfriend were captured late last night in San Antonio, Texas. And passengers will now be allowed to travel on Amtrak and take their bike on board Hiawatha trains running between Milwaukee and Chicago. The cost, $5. Cubs over Pittsburgh. White Sox beat Boston as the Sox cut starter John Danks. The news service of Oscar Mayer beef hot dogs. When you think back to your favorite foods growing up, hot dogs always on the list, especially Oscar Mayer hot dogs. But as you get older, you want to start eating more like a grown-up. That's why Oscar Mayer beef hot dogs are made with the great grown-up taste, premium beef. So enjoy a childhood favorite, all grown up. 5:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
The Indiana primary is over.
Together, we left it all on the field in Indiana. We gave it everything we've got. But the voters chose another path.
Ted Cruz folds his tent.
We are suspending our campaign.
Now it's Trump.
We're going to love each other. We're going to cherish each other. We're going to take care of each other.
The ride to the White House is crazy.
We're going to win. We're going to win in November.
What happens next happens here. This is your election station, AM 560, The Answer.
Here Maps, the free app that helps you beat the jam with live traffic info and public transit schedules. Get it now at here.com/commute.
That's Lisbeth. She doesn't know it, but she owes her life to a change in public opinion. Our younger generation of women is turning the tide of public opinion concerning abortion. The most recent statistics show that more women facing unwanted pregnancies are choosing life compared to 15 years ago. Many wonder why, if a pregnant woman and her unborn child are murdered, it's a double homicide. Yet they ask, why isn't abortion a crime? More women now value life, even if their unwanted child is to be placed for adoption, because they may feel like they can never forgive themselves of an abortion, even if the law does. Lake County Right to Life, helping young women choose courage over convenience. LCRTL.org. That's LCRTL.org. Visit Lake County Right to Life on Twitter and Facebook, or call 847-223-7022.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing, independently owned business bank. Signature Bank listens to your story, learns about your business, and sticks with their customers. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Mick O'Rourke, co-founder, president, and CEO of Signature Bank. We founded Signature Bank in 2006 with one goal: to serve as Chicago's business bank. Now, 10 years later, we've seen that vision turn into a reality. We'd like to help your business realize all of its potential. My co-founders and I have many years of experience in commercial banking. When we learn about your business, we sit down across the table from you. When you have concerns, we pick up the phone to talk them through. We know your name and your story. At Signature Bank, when we make a commitment, we deliver.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. Learn more about turning your business vision into reality. Visit signature-bank.com. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
537 in our Guardian Security Services Traffic Center. A quick look at the roads with Jim Talamonte.
Inbound Ryan, 18 minutes, 95th to downtown. Bishop Ford already 22 minutes from 8094 to the merge. Elsewhere, speeds are reduced because of the rain. Traffic service of Hallmark Signature. Mother's Day is this Sunday. Because there are no ordinary moms, Hallmark Signature are no ordinary cards. Find them in the card aisle wherever Hallmark cards are sold. That's traffic on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center. Cloudy, breezy, cooler with a shower, high 52. Currently 49 at O'Hare. Temperatures falling. And your next news update is at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Illinois Lake County Right to Life. Visit lcrtl.org for upcoming events and information.
Dan and Amy, well, the good news is, Amy, we can spend the next month still obsessing about a contested convention, but it's Bernie forcing Hillary into a contested convention after his upset victory yesterday.
Yeah, he won by, 6 points last night? That was pretty impressive, but for some reason she ended up getting more superdelegates, so it was kind of a tie.
Well, Bernie's going to make a play for those superdelegates, so he said, and he had a message. He had a message for all those counting old Bernie out.
How does the win in Indiana fundamentally change the race? Obviously, your delegate count
It's going to give us a great deal of momentum, because I think there are many in the media, like you and others, who have decided that the campaign is over. Well, I guess the people of Indiana did not quite agree with that assessment.
Taking it to the streets.
All right, so back to Cruz and Trump. As promised, we've got to take, well, especially me, we've got to take our lumps on Cruz's exit. And Dan from Madison waited patiently to make his point. So, Dan from Madison, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer again.
All right, thank you. Well, what I was about to say is when you look at what he actually accomplished in his campaign, he's won 11 states. Do you know that only 4, count them 4, were states that actually held primary votes? His other ones he won were either caucuses or those crazy conventions where the party apparatchiks basically controlled everything.
Or Texas or Wisconsin.
Well, he did okay in Wisconsin, but he had the whole state apparatus of Walker's machine helping him out, and then the talk show hosts, which would include your show because you've got the coverage over into Northeast Indiana and into
Right.
Southeast.
So-
And let's not forget that I saw that you guys were basically running commercials against Trump, disguised as your programming commercials. Like when you left for cable, you left a very virulent anti-Trump campaign. It was like amazing.
Okay,
I'm not mad at you. I forgive you guys.
Well, thank you.
Because in the end, it didn't matter. But
Uh-huh.
let's point out. Let's look at one of the states, Maine. Now that's the only state that Cruz won in the whole northeastern area.
Dan, we all know what happened. So, what's the point you're getting at? Yes, I was open and notoriously supporting Cruz. So what?
I have a very interesting point to make here.
Let's do it.
In all, there's 6 states in the New England. Cruz won Maine, but in the other 5 states. Guess what Cruz's percentage of the vote was? It was very consistent. It ranged between 10% and 12%.
And we know this, and so.
Well, no, the you may know it, but the public doesn't know it. And then so all of a sudden, Cruz gets a 46% of the caucus in Maine. And I just have to wonder, how the heck does that happen? So, and then let's go back to
Dan, I'm not going to relitigate all of the states that have had caucuses and conventions and primaries. Nobody's accusing Donald Trump of stealing the election.
All right.
He won it fair and square, so what?
What I'm trying, here's what I don't understand with you and the other, ultra conservatives. Now, I've been a conservative since the late 70s.
But not an ultra one.
Huh?
But not an ultra one like me.
Not a what?
Not an ultra one. You just called me an ultra conservative. I don't know what the difference is.
I don't understand what you see in Cruz. He's got a personality that he could. Romney lost 8 of the 9 battleground states. And this, Romney was, a tall, distinguished-looking guy, great voice, very successful. And compare him to Cruz. You think Cruz would do better than Romney?
All right. Thanks for the call, Dan. I appreciate it. Well, that's an interesting point you finally got to. It's about personality, and I understand a lot of people didn't warm up to Ted Cruz. I don't vote based on personality mainly. I vote mainly based on what I think that candidate is going to do as a vessel for public policy. So I guess that's just a different analysis. Mike in Hanover Park.
Morning. How you doing this morning?
Good.
My thing is, with all these Tea Party people that think if we don't vote for Trump, that we're to vote for Hillary. But they forget when they didn't vote for Romney and the candidate before, that was a vote for Obama for 8 years. So sometimes I hate to say what comes around does go around. So they may not get a lot of moderate votes because of their arrogance and ignorance.
All right.
And that's just my opinion, because I don't think I'm going to vote at all this term. Because
right.
I can't vote for somebody who I just literally flat out don't like.
All right. Thanks for the call, Mike. Randy in Sandwich.
I got a theory here I want to run through your think tank, Dan. And I'm only saying this because of all the stuff that that Cruz has done up to this point with, picking his VP and then all of a sudden making a deal with Kasich. Let's say now there is no fight, okay? There's no real intensity for people to go out and vote because Cruz suspended his campaign. So all of a sudden now, as we go through these next states here, if all of a sudden the response is lukewarm and people aren't going out there to vote for Trump and he doesn't get the delegates that he needs, all of a sudden we get to the finish line and he comes up short. Well, all of a sudden now Cruz is like, I'm back in it. Let's contest this convention. What do you see the possibility of that?
No.
That is what if he fumbles on the 1 yard line? I mean, really?
How? What is? Thanks for the call,
Because
Randy.
they were saying that last night too on CNN, saying if something happens, they need Ted Cruz to be ready to go.
What is the something? If the Earth is hit by a meteor.
Maybe he has a heart attack. Who knows? There always something could happen. Well,
okay, well, short of some kind of unforeseen health emergency.
Okay.
No, there is
Or
no way.
discovered by the Democrats.
Yeah, I mean, can we get off the grassy knoll? Here's what's going to happen. Trump is going to get well over the 1237 he needs, and it's going to happen in short order. And in California is going to be a romp.
You know
so,
what?
I mean,
and then
come
also, too, he was ahead by 30 points in California over Ted Cruz.
To my point.
Yeah.
John in Schaumburg.
Hello?
Yeah, hey, John.
Hello.
Hello, yeah, this is John from Chamber. I just want to say that I thank God there is no more Cuban around, okay? Now we have a guy right now we have a guy from Kenya and going to Cuba now. Thank God that these guys step out, okay?
Thanks
Thank
for the
you
call,
very much.
John. I thought he was from Canada. Sharon and Addison, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Both.
Hey, you know what? I have to take issue with Dan, also from Addison. I voted for Cruz, and I still would support him had he not suspended his campaign because he's a real constitutionalist. He would have accomplished everything that Trump is going to accomplish, but the thing is he was more consistent. He backpedaled on one thing, that was immigration. So I don't understand why Dan wasn't pointing out the fact that Fox News, Greta Van Sustberg, Greg Kilmeade, and the rest of them have been in the tank for Trump forever, much more than you have been for Cruz. I mean, you are, but I'm saying between you and Amy combined, you were more fair and balanced than what Fox has come up with. Yeah. And because the constitutionalist part of Cruz's nature, his personality, I didn't look at it so much like that. I looked at it from Dan's point of view. I believe that he would have been the better person for America because he would have gotten the job done. And I believe that he would have convinced and had been convincing a lot more people. Trump has punched his way through, but I don't know what he stands for. And I don't, quite frankly, now I trust him less now than when he first announced his candidacy for the presidency of the United States.
Thanks for the call, Sharon. Kent in Lincoln Park.
Hey, good morning, Jen and Amy, Dan and Amy. I'm sorry. Anyway, so Trump, is basically effectively won the nomination. I think in short order, everybody in the establishment and everybody else is going to get together, and I think that he'll do very well. Other than Sean, I think Sean is going to be the sole guy out there crying that Donald Trump got the nomination.
Sean from Elmwood Park, you mean?
You got it.
Yes. All right. Thanks for the call,
I had some
Kent.
tears last night. It was emotional. And my kids were crying too because they're afraid that all their friends are going to be deported, yanked. And I told them that's not going to happen. He's just saying that to try and get elected. And now he's secured the spot, or he's the presumptive nominee. And I really don't think he's going to do half of the things that he campaigned on. It was all an act.
The stories you need to know to start your day. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Oh, the ladies are excited this morning. Diamond and Silk. Their reaction coming up next. But first, here's your forecast. It's pretty nasty out there this morning. Showers in spots. Roads are slick. There's some standing water, that's for sure, on the Jane Addams. And it's going to be a high of 52 degrees today. Mostly cloudy skies. And then tomorrow, partly sunny, a little bit warmer, a high of 60. But wait for it, on Friday, we could hit 80 degrees. Now let's go into the traffic department. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Amy. Tri-State Tollway southbound at Roosevelt. There's a crash at the left shoulder with a car facing the wrong way. Road work north of there in Balmoral and Irving Park should be clearing the next few minutes out of the left lane. Northbound, we're now seeing delays on the Tri-State from the Stevenson to the Hinsdale Oasis and from the Reagan Tollway to the Eisenhower. Eden still okay. The Kennedy 2 inbound Eisenhower. Slow Manheim to First. 34 minutes Thorndale to downtown. Outbound 32. Crash at 5th Avenue on the left shoulder. The Stevenson is 41 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan, 21 minutes, 95th to downtown. Bishop Ford, 22 minutes, 80-94 to the Ryan. Jim Talamonte in the Guardian Security Services Traffic Center.
I have struggled with irritable bowel syndrome for 40 years. Really struggled with it. And I want you to know that since I have been taking Balance of Nature, I don't have it anymore. After 40 years, I'm 75 years old, and after 40 years of struggling with this and, early on taking all kinds of medication and this, that, and the other thing, back in October, I was able to cancel my appointment with the gastroenterologist. Your products have made my life. They have improved the quality of my life so tremendously. I can't be grateful enough. So please thank you all, and please, if you ever have a chance to, please thank Dr. Howard.
Good health is just a phone call away. What are you waiting for? Call now and take the health challenge to get a free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
CertaPro painters are here for every stage of your life, from moving into a new home, creating the ideal nursery, to reinventing your living space. CertaPro painting experts create the perfect setting while you do life. They came to our home and brightened our walls and our moods so very quiet they wouldn't wake a baby. But the best part? They clean up after themselves so you don't have to do it. And now that spring is here, it is the perfect time to spruce up your home's exterior. Take a look at your home. Do you see chipping, peeling, fading? Well, leave it to CertaPro painting experts to refresh, renew, and protect your biggest investment, your home. Now is the time to call for your free estimate and schedule your exterior painting project. 1-800-GO-CERTA, 1-800-GOCERTA. That's CERTA with a C. Or visit CertaPro.com today, CertaPro.com. CertaPro Painters, we do painting, you do life. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated.
You know the name Barbara Walters. Now remember the company, Ameritrust Mortgage.
Ameritrust Mortgage was formed along with a talented professional staff that makes your mortgage process easy, swift, and cost-efficient for you, the home buyer, and for those who refinance. Ameritrust is all-inclusive, start to finish, the way lending should be. At Ameritrust, we believe it has been our privilege to have helped thousands of people over 30 years with purchasing or refinancing their home. We are here to help. Let us customize a loan program for your specific needs, FHA, VA, or conventional. At Ameritrust, the responsibility belongs to me. It's my name on the door. I am the president. I am Barbara Walters. Call Ameritrust now, 815-459-7303. Again, that number is 815-459-7303. Or visit us at am560myhome.com.
Ameritrust Mortgage is an equal housing lender. Illinois Residential Mortgage Licensee number 720. NMLS number 217229.
AM 560, The Answer.
Hey, Dan, I wanted to ask you this. Who do you think's having a worse day, Ted Cruz or John Danks?
Oh, Johnny Danks got released, yeah.
Yeah, so who's having the worst day, do you think? After 10 years with the White Sox. Bye-bye.
You got to get people out. Diamond and Silk, the first ladies of punditry this election cycle. We've popularized them, and we take credit for that.
You have a T-shirt.
I do.
Diamond and Silk tee.
And Diamond and Silk took to YouTube yesterday to celebrate Trump's Indiana victory.
Yes. Trump just won Indiana. Boom. The tides have changed. Yes. The tables have turned. Yes. Baby, this is going to be our nominee, and this is going to be the next president of the United States. That's right. Hey. Somebody, Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. Help all the cruise supporters because they're drowning out there in that cruise ship. Help them up to shore so that they can get on the Trump train.
You got to get from the cruise ship to the Trump train.
Oh, I see.
You see what they did?
Trump Towers. Yeah, I see that. That's nice.
How about a little cheer? Sure.
Oh, so I'm so happy. Yes. Give me a T. You got that T. You got that T. Give me an R. You got that R. You got that R. Give me a U. You got that U. You got that U. Give me an M. You got that M. You got that M. Give me a P. You got that P. You got that P. What that spell? Trump. What? Trump. What? Trump. Choo choo. Choo 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 choo.
Were they doing the
That's the Trump train.
Come on a choo-choo. Everybody ride it.
That Trump train is leaving the station, yeah. Come on, ride that train. That Trump
train. But Donald Trump said yesterday, too, in his speech, in his victory speech, which was very calm, by the way, that a lot of people who have been bashing him are now reaching out to him and trying to kiss his butt.
That's going to happen.
Oh, yeah, that will happen.
Charlotte in Arlington Heights, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hi, I'm a never Trump. Dangerously unstable, amoral. What did Nikki Haley say about him? That he be... Go ahead.
No, I can't remember. I thought that she said that he was dangerously unstable.
Yeah, Donald Trump is dangerously unstable. He is amoral, in my opinion. Nikki Haley said that he behaves in a way that we teach our kindergartners not to.
Yep.
He is offensive. That's about it.
Thanks for the call, Charlotte. Mel in Mount Prospect.
Yeah, this thing about the political speech, that's all it is. Just remember what happened to the Jews and Hitler. They said, oh, he'll go away.
Okay, the Hitler reference, and you lose me.
You've made the switch, and it feels so good. You've switched to Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
When elderly family require care, you insist on local medical professionals with specialized training in home service and nursing. Alliance Home Service is a leading family alternative to nursing home and institutional care. It's critical to ask the right questions when matching a caregiver to your loved one to maintain the most positive lifestyle for your entire family. Alliance Home Service is among a select group of Chicagoland companies providing in-home non-medical care such as hygiene, medication reminders, activities and companionship, and medical care. All caregivers have the highest level of training and expertise. You'll experience the cost efficiency of in-home care as well as the level of caring you expect from family. Call founder and registered nurse Linda Weiler at 866-227-3459 or alliancecaregiver.com for no obligation family care consultation. Alliance Home Service, our family caring for your family. That's 866-227-3459 or alliancecaregiver.com.
Townstone Financial is synonymous with great rates, low closing costs, and phenomenal service to the thousands who have completed purchases and refinances with us since 2002. Hi, my name is Barry Sterner, owner of Townstone Financial. Let's hear about the Townstone experience from one of our customers.
My name is Brian Cole. I'm a realtor locally here in Chicago with Catchline Properties. My buyers were actually sellers, and Townstone made it an incredibly smooth process from start to end. My buyer for the mortgage ended up getting an incredibly low interest rate. I make it a point to send all my buyers to get qualified through Townstone Financial. If there is a specific date we are looking to close on, Zach, Barry, and the rest of the Townstone Financial team will go out of their way to make it a point that things will get done and get done properly.
Remember, nobody values your business more than Townstone Financial, and I'm always available to answer your questions. Call me now, Barry Sterner, at 312-896-2111. That's 312-896-2111. Or go to townstone.com. That's TOWNSTONE.com.
Townstone Financials, Indiana, Michigan, Wisconsin, Florida, Illinois, mortgage license C6629 and NMLS 136639, equal housing lender.
Oh, because you listen to this show, you know that hundreds of small businesses around Chicago trust their IT needs to our good friends over at Turnkey IT. So when I needed some help with my home computer, and I really needed some help, I picked up the phone and called David, the president of Turnkey IT. Without hesitation, David agreed to help, and I had the chance to experience firsthand what Turnkey IT service is really all about. When the technician from Turnkey IT arrived, he was early, friendly, professional, very clean, efficient. He transferred all the data from my old PC to my new PC and configured it exactly for my needs. It really was a turnkey solution. Turnkey IT wants to give all the business owners listening to AM 560 this great opportunity. So listen up. Turnkey IT is offering a free network checkup. That's right. It's completely free. Now, even if you already have an IT guy, this free checkup will help you deal with your own IT guy better. And here's my promise to you. Whatever IT provider you have now, you will like Turnkey IT better. So visit turnkey.pro today for this offer. That's turnkey.pro.
Mother's Day is this week, and Pro Flowers is offering an amazing special. 100 stunning blooms for mom, plus a free glass vase for $19.99. Go to proflowers.com and enter the secret code 555. But hurry, this deal expires this Friday. 100 colorful blooms for mom for $19.99 plus a free glass vase. The only way to get this amazing deal is to go to proflowers.com. Click on the blue microphone in the upper right corner and enter the secret code 555.
Shipping charges not included. Satisfaction guaranteed or your money back.
You don't have to be a retail giant or government agency to be the victim of a costly data breach. If you run a website and collect customer data, your small to mid-sized business is just as likely to be targeted by hackers. The Barracuda Web Application Firewall provides cost-effective instant security against automated and targeted attacks, making this WAF a must-have for your SMB. Reclaim your network. Try a Barracuda Web App Firewall risk-free at barracuda.com/WAF.
Here are the stories we're watching for you today. An escaped Indiana inmate and girlfriend captured in Texas. Sox and Cubs winners overnight. WIND Chicago News Time is 6 o'clock.
This is a Fox News alert. I'm Dave Anthony.
We're going to win. We're going to win in November.
Donald Trump now being called the presumptive nominee by the head of the Republican Party after he won Indiana and Ted Cruz dropped out.
Cruz, I don't know if he likes me or if he doesn't like me, but he is one hell of a competitor.
Fox's Evan Brown was at Cruz headquarters, now live in Indianapolis.
Dave, Indiana was labeled Cruz' last stand even before Tuesday, with all the campaigning around the state, even selecting Carly Fiorina as a running mate.
We left it all on the field in Indiana. We gave it everything we've got. But the voters chose another path.
telling a very dejected crowd last night that he could see no mathematical way forward for his campaign to either secure his own nomination or prevent Donald Trump's, Dave.
Now, Eben, John Kasich is staying in the Republican race. Indiana Democrats went for Bernie Sanders.
Bernie Sanders defies the polls again and upsets Hillary Clinton here in Indiana.
I understand that Secretary Clinton thinks that this campaign is over. I've got some bad news for her.
Sanders last night vowing to continue on to the remaining contest while saying his path forward is an uphill battle with Clinton's stack of superdelegates, even in states where he beat her, while Hillary Clinton, who spent very little time or resources here and primary night at home in New York, continues to ramp up her shift in focus to Donald Trump. In South Bend, Indiana, Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
Kids in Detroit are up getting ready for school now that their teachers have ended a 2-day walkout.
Want to get back to work and back to the kids. It's amazing.
They protested over perhaps not getting paid this summer, but the Detroit School District assured them last night they'll get their money. A fiery disaster in Canada. A wildfire scorching the town of Fort McMurray. Entire neighborhoods have burned down. More than 80,000 residents urged to evacuate. Fox News Radio. Fair and balanced.
.48 degrees in Chicago at 6:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. An Illinois woman shot while driving on I-90-94 Sunday near the Wisconsin Dells has died of her injuries. 40-year-old Tracy Chakowski was hit in a drive-by shooting, and police have 3 men in custody. Her husband is a U.S. Drug Enforcement Agency agent. Zach Hayes of West Allis is the alleged gunman and faces charges with his brother Jeremy and a third brother who is not being identified. 5 out of the 6 men facing charges in the death of a Champaign woman are in custody this morning. Police say the most recent arrest in the Ashley Gibson case happened Monday in Columbia, Missouri. Each suspect is accused of dismembering her body and dumping it into a lake. A 17-year-old Matea Valley High School student is facing felony charges after police recovered an unloaded handgun from his backpack Monday. Police say the boy from Naperville made no threats and told authorities he had no intention to use that gun. The chances of the Lucas Museum coming to Chicago are shrinking by the hour. Mayor Rahm Emanuel is very upset that Friends of the Parks is opposing any lakefront site for the project.
I think it'd be a very sad day for the city if, in fact, we saw this museum in Los Angeles or San Francisco rather than where it belongs.
The organization has sued to block the $743 million museum. George Lucas's wife, Melody Hobson, responded by saying they are seriously pursuing other locations outside of Chicago. Illinois lawmakers are considering a bill that would provide more funding for higher education in the state during the budget crisis. A measure cleared a Senate committee yesterday. A plan to change how legislative districts are drawn in the state has cleared the state House. Lawmakers currently draw district maps, but the measure that passed the House on a 105-7 vote Tuesday would give that job back to an independent 8-member panel appointed by 2 state Supreme Court justices. Cubs over Pittsburgh 7-1. Jake Arrieta 6-0. Jose Quintana with the win. White Sox over Boston 4-1. And the Sox are an American League best 19-8. The news, a service of Napa Auto Parts. Stop by participating Napa Auto Parts stores through the end of the month and pick up the Evercraft 26-piece screwdriver set for just $19.99. That's Napa know-how. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
The Indiana primary is over.
Together, we left it all on the field in Indiana. We gave it everything we've got. But the voters chose another path.
Ted Cruz folds his tent.
We are suspending our campaign.
Now it's Trump.
We're going to love each other. We're going to cherish each other. We're going to take care of each other.
The ride to the White House is crazy.
We're going to win. We're going to win in November.
What happens next happens here. This is your election station, AM 560. The Answer.
If you have a new phone, any phone, smartphone, iPhone, listen up. Every 2 seconds, one of us will accidentally break our phone. So guess what? Insuring, protecting your phone and all the phones in your family is a really smart idea. But if you have insurance from one of those big cell phone companies, I promise you, you're paying way too much. Switch to SquareTrade.com phone protection today, and you'll save hundreds of dollars a year per phone. For example, if you have Verizon or Sprint, Well, they can charge $11 a month for phone insurance. Now, for a family of 4, that's $44 a month, plus up to a $199 deductible when you do break your phone. Now, SquareTrade has a family protection plan. Well, that's less than $4 a month per phone. Well, that means a family of 4 is saving over $500 a year. So stop overpaying for phone protection. Protect all your phones with SquareTrade instead. Just go to squaretrade.com. That's squaretrade.com.
SquareTrade does not cover lost or stolen items. Savings based on 2-year iPhone plan with 1 claim compared to Asurion total equipment coverage as of August 2015.
It is 6:06 in our Guardian Security Services Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. And Skokie power lines are down on Howard Street between Costner and Skokie Boulevard. And Skokie police say that Howard will be closed there for several hours. Eden's still looking good. Kennedy inbound. Slow. The River O'Toole to Canfield. 22 minutes. O'Hare to downtown up on 21. The Eisenhower. 40 minutes. Thorndale to the post office up on 38. Crash at 5th Avenue on the left shoulder. Inbound Stevenson delays start at Weber. It's already 50 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive, 32 from the Tri-State. Up on OK. The Ryan, 22 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, Bishop Ford, both 25 minutes, I-80 to the merge. Northbound Tri-State delays from the Stevenson to the Hinsdale Oasis. The Reagan Tollway to the Eisenhower. The Reagan Tollway stop and go 22nd to the Ike. Traffic is a service of Account Temps. Every accounting team faces cyclical, project, and seasonal peak workloads. Let Account Temps help. Their highly skilled accounting and finance professionals can quickly assist you with all of your temporary staffing needs. Call them today or visit AccountTemps.com. Account Temps, a Robert Half company. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte at AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the AirComfort.com Weather Center. 80 years of quality mechanical solutions for your business. Here's our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Today, mostly cloudy, breezy, and cooler with a shower in the area, high 52. Tonight, partly cloudy and breezy, chilly with a low 39. Partly sunny and warmer tomorrow, high 60 and a low 44. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
In Chicago, 48 degrees. Next news at 6:30, and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Illinois Rising, hosted by Dan Proft and the Illinois Policy Institute. Sunday afternoons at 3 on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning. Welcome to your Wednesday morning briefing. Here's what you need to know to start your day.
And so, with a heavy heart, we are suspending our campaign.
Just so you understand, Ted Cruz, I don't know if he likes me or if he doesn't like me, but he is one hell of a competitor. He is a tough, smart guy.
Get on the Trump train! Yeah.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Who's your daddy?
Who's
your dad? That was the New York Post headline.
Oh, that's right. Who's
pretty
your
good.
daddy?
Pretty
And then I
good.
heard Trump Towers.
Yeah.
Get it? That's a good one, too. That was a
Yeah,
good headline.
not
I like
bad.
that one. Because he did spank Ted Cruz and he kicked him out of the race. And I got to tell you, CNN this morning was reporting that Donald Trump and his sons were backstage watching and listening to Ted Cruz's speech. Did not see that coming, and nor did I. I didn't see it coming. Did you see it coming?
Yeah, I'm not surprised that it came to pass. But Dennis Prager, friend here in the
Friend of the
Salem
show.
family,
Yeah.
Dennis Prager suggests that Trump versus Hillary is a political Sophie's choice. Do you agree with that? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Assuming James Comey does not stop the Hillary train, although it's petering on the tracks thanks to Bernie's insurgency. What are you going to do, Trump versus Hillary? How do you size up that race? And if you're a never-Trumper, is there anything that he can do to turn it around for you? And one of the things that's going to happen, and, for the never-Trumpers, and I understand the position, boy, there is a lot of attractiveness to it, and Donald Trump makes it easy to adopt that posture, let me tell you, including what he did yesterday with the whole bizarre, goofy insinuations about Rafael Cruz and the JFK assassination. I mean, boy, just when you think you've hit bottom, he digs. But here's what's going to happen over the course of the next 6 months. Hillary Clinton is going to say things that are so odious. She is going to do things that are so despicable and lowbrow and disingenuous. She is going to lie and lie and lie because she is an inveterate liar. And it's going to put people in the position of, by extension, defending Trump to try and expose Hillary for what she is. So do you just turn off the news and stop reading op-ed writers and various media outlets and just ignore the whole thing so you don't have to participate? And is that a constructive choice? If that's you're kind of opting out, you're going galt, you're dropping out.
Oh, speaking of dropping out, Ted Cruz, his swan song.
We left it all on the field in Indiana. We gave it everything we've got. But the voters chose another path. And so, with a heavy heart, but with boundless optimism for the long-term future of our nation, we are suspending our campaign.
By the way, that Cruz Fiorina ticket, I've had hangovers that lasted longer. I mean, I don't know if if Carly. I mean, she signed up for
last night. Yeah.
Well, I understand, but it's what she signed up for. Did she sign up for this was going to potentially only be a week-long venture? Just
I don't know.
Be interesting.
But Ted Cruz got everything he wanted. He got the endorsement from Governor Mike Pence. He had Kasich sit this one out. He had a running mate, but he still couldn't win. He still couldn't beat Donald Trump.
So Donald Trump simply explained, and I've said this on the show before, but I'll repeat it because I think this is in one sentence. This is why Trump. Why Trump? Why Trump is the Republican nominee? Why he, I think, is more likely than not to be the next president of the United States? Because people who are living small c conservative lives have been hurt financially and ridiculed culturally. And when this was going on, the Republican Party was nowhere to be found. That's why Trump. And that's the lesson. All the tone-deaf political operatives, the Muppet pundits like Mike Murphy, who don't know up from down, as well as the kind of the Beltway Republican Party leadership. This is should be a taking stock moment for them. I'm not sure it will be, but it should be.
Donald Trump did a good job of tapping into America's anxiety about jobs, middle-class jobs being outsourced overseas. And he did a good job. And, he's a New York Yankee billionaire, but he came across as a blue-collar guy. Don't you think? I mean,
No, he didn't come across as he came across as a blue-collar guy in the sense that he is on their side of the skirmish line.
He's fighting
out
for us.
Right. This is a guy who announced his candidacy by going through his net worth. So
and who had actors out there holding Trump signs. That was June 16th. Remember we came down the escalator?
Yeah,
it was
right,
so bizarre.
But
it was a joke.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Trump owned that he's a billionaire because he loves the fact that he's a billionaire and he loves to, and he's a braggart about it. So he didn't try to pretend he was down there with the struggle in the sense of I'm one of you, I live the same life you do, which is what a lot of politicians will do. Instead, he just made the case effectively and apparently believably enough that he was on their side of the skirmish line fighting out. By the way, a good piece in 538 blog by Nate Silver. You hear that, Mel and Mount Prospect? Nate Silver, 538 blog. About the kind of the mythology of Trump's blue-collar electorate. Mm-hmm. That actually the percentage, if you go by median household, or if you go by, household income, the percentage of so-called blue-collar, middle income participants in the Republican primary as the overall portion of the electorate, it's actually down 2 percentage points from 2012.
Oh, really?
And the median household income for Trump supporters, not terribly different than for Cruz supporters. So this is one of the things we've been trying to say for a long time because you just look at the data and, of course, the kind of cable news and Beltway media don't pick up on this because they want this caricature to be true. Turns out not to be true, that it's just this insular, disaffected group that Trump is appealing to. Trump's appeal is much broader. His coalition much more diverse than a lot of Republican candidates, Republican operatives, and media types understand it to be and wish it were. Bill in the Loop, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
I was going to say, when it comes to Trump against Hillary, good morning, folks.
Morning.
But I believe that he's really going to go after her in ways that others wouldn't, and bring out the real Hillary, and that Clinton machine. So that's just my opinion there, and it's a time for everybody to heal now. We know what the real evil is in this campaign now. We need to go against that. That's all I have to say.
Thanks for the call, Bill.
And last night in Trump's victory speech, he did mention he did tie Hillary, of course, to Bill Clinton in the passing of, the North American Free Trade Agreement, and that he's going to go after them collectively because of that.
Yeah, but
Bill's old news. He's got to focus on Hillary. I mean, she didn't make the decisions for her husband back then.
Well, she was a partner. Remember, that was co-presidency.
Oh, that's
how
right.
That's how they sold
roll.
it.
Yeah.
I mean, she was the architect of Hillary Care before Obamacare. But in terms of Trump going after Hillary, it's going to be a little bit different, because maybe one of the mistakes Ted Cruz made is being the polite candidate when it came to Trump's curious and incendiary statements over the course of the first 6 or 7 months of the campaign. I like Donald Trump. He's useful. We get along well. They did the rally on the mall together with the Tea Party. So Cruz was very complimentary and conciliatory to Trump for a long time. And by the time he decided to turn his sights on him, which was really yesterday, it was way too late. Hillary's not going to be that way. Hillary is best on offense, and she's most comfortable on offense. So you can be assured that Hillary is going to start coming after Trump. She's already been doing it.
And she told Andrea Mitchell, we are ready to go. We have information that we are going to, and then Andrea Mitchell from NBC, she's like, we have information that we're going to release soon about the real Donald Trump. Ooh, I was shaking in my shoes.
It's one of these things, though. These two are so disliked and so well known, and there's so much baggage for both of them. It's such a target-rich environment. This is, I think, some of what other Republican candidates struggle with. Where do you go and where do you stay? What issue do you pick to try and crystallize?
That he's a serial philanderer?
But
that's what Ted Cruz described Donald Trump as yesterday.
Yeah, really? Hillary Clinton wants to make that case?
Exactly. That's the problem, because how can she make that case when she's married to that?
Jordan in Forest Park.
Dan and Amy, I think it's interesting that I think what's happening is this is the end of the conservative wing of the Republican Party. You have a candidate in Trump that has a trade policy left of Hillary. He's definitely not a conservative. He's already reached out to Planned Parenthood, trying to make that a non-issue in the election. Maybe the immigration thing is the only thing you could say he's conservative on. And the Republican primary voters are voting for him. They're not voting for the conservative Cruz. So what do you think? I think it's the end.
Thanks for the call, Jordan. I don't think it's the end. I think you suffer setbacks, but you still have the self-identified conservatives are still the base of the party. I think a lot of them disagree with Trump on the positions he's taken, but see him as, kind of the patriotic outsider, where the GOP insiders have been discredited by lack of putting in the fight. And I think there'll be an opportunity to resuscitate and come back from Trump. But it's going to be a period of wandering in the wilderness for many. I agree with that. Here's one interesting note, since Jordan brought up Forest Park. Donald Trump made another personnel move. He brought on John Mashburn as his policy director. And this is being hailed by no less than the president of the Susan B. Anthony List, national pro-life organization, respected pro-life organization, as an excellent hire. Marjorie Dannenfelser from Susan B. Anthony writes, I have known and respected John Mashburn for many years. He's a smart strategist with deep pro-life roots. John is well respected across every issue set. And for him, the life issue is a foundational one. He most recently served as chief of staff to Senator Thom Tillis of North Carolina. So, let's watch some of the moves that Trump makes, both in terms of staff and ultimately, obviously, VP. Lisa on the north side.
Hi, good morning, Dan and Amy. Thanks for taking my call. I think that we've had 8 years of a nobody from nowhere who made all the decisions that he felt whatever were right. And I think that America is just really angry about, about Obama, and that we're willing to take the risk on, someone who seems that he's representing more people and take a risk on Trump. And to me, Carly and Cruz were the dream team. I love Carly, and I wish they could have gone to the end. But you know what? I'll throw it in with Trump. Better than, the alternative with the crook, murderer Hillary.
Thanks for the call, Lisa.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Oh, decisions. What few Indiana voters did yesterday when they got to the polling booth. But first, here's your forecast today. Mostly forecast. I've got your forecast. It's going to be cloudy right now and showers on and off throughout the afternoon. A high of 52 degrees. Then tomorrow, just gorgeous, partly sunny. Warmer, a high near 60. But get this, on Friday, we could hit 80 degrees. Let's get the travel times. Anything good on the roadway? Here's Jim Delamonte.
It could be a challenging morning rush, Amy and Dan. And Skokie Howard remains closed between Costner and Skokie Boulevard due to down power lines. Police say it'll be closed for a while. Edens, 21 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 19. The Kennedy, 23 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, outbound 25. The Eisenhower, already 46 minutes. Thorndale to the post office, outbound 45. There was an earlier crash at 5th Avenue. Inbound Stevenson, it's slow from Weber to 83. And we also see delays from 1st Avenue to Kedzie, 50 minutes already. 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 34. The Ryan, 25 minutes. 95th to downtown. I-57, 35 minutes. I-80 to the Merge, Bishop Ford 30. Eastbound Reagan Tollway really bottled up from Highland all the way to the Eisenhower. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Guardian Security Services Traffic Center.
Guys, when it comes to your health, do you know your numbers? Now, you might know your blood pressure and cholesterol, but do you know your testosterone number? I know my number, and that's because Low T Center makes it easy. You walk in, take a simple blood test, and because the lab is on site, you'll know your results within minutes. If you notice a decline in energy, stamina, or libido, you may have low testosterone. Low testosterone makes you feel tired and grumpy. It can also raise your cholesterol and cause weight gain. Low T Center's experienced medical staff will educate you on the benefits and risks of testosterone replacement. At Low T Center, services are covered by most health insurance companies, and they have flexible hours for your convenience, so do yourself a favor and call 630-409-4305. Tell them Dan Prof sent you. That's me. The number 630-409-4305, or go to lowtcenter.com.
Do you know what a RIA is? It's a real estate investor association, and it's where smart people go to obtain wholesale houses, obtain no money, no credit financing, meet local buyers, sellers, and investing partners, and receive local market intelligence and training. Don't buy houses retail. That's ridiculous. And please don't waste your time and money going to a get-rich-quick seminar from a traveling pitchman. Come network with local Chicagoland real estate investors that are just getting started or taking it to the next level. Come join the largest real estate investor network in Chicagoland. We meet on Tuesday, May 10th at 6 p.m. at the Chicago Marriott Schaumburg on Martingale Road. And you can register to attend for free by calling 800-868-4914. 800-868-4914. This month's topic, how to get all the money you need for real estate deals. Call 800-868-4914. Write it down. That's 800-868-4914 to attend any of our upcoming meetings and receive a valuable real estate training program for free. 800-868-4914. Brought to you by the Schaumburg Wealth Club.
On AM 560 The Answer, we talk about the important issues that affect your world. Things like the economy, education, and foreign policy. There's always so much going on in the news that we don't always have the time to drill down and talk about the big ideas behind the big issues. That's where Upstream Ideas comes in. Upstream Ideas, online at upstream-ideas.com, in partnership with the Illinois Policy Institute, provides the kind of information that informs the policy discussions happening here on AM 560. At Upstream Ideas, you'll broaden the debate, move beyond partisan assumptions, and challenge accepted orthodoxies. In other words, Upstream Ideas goes against the current and thinks upstream. Go online now to upstream-ideas.com. That's upstream-ideas.com. You'll be armed with new information and fresh perspectives to spur you on to make the state of Illinois and the United States of America a bit more free, a bit more just, and a bit more civilized. Upstream-ideas.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
So is it sunk in yet that Donald Trump's going to be the presumptive GOP nominee?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
Since I predicted it 2 months ago, yeah, it's sunk in.
But you didn't. I did not expect Ted Cruz to suspend his campaign yesterday. But that's neither here nor there. But listen, Marianne Ahern, NBC5, she was in Whiting, Indiana yesterday, talking to some voters who just came out of the polling booth. She spoke with Democrats who almost, listen to this, voted for somebody else.
I almost went to Trump. I'm telling you, I don't know why, but I thought, some new blood.
Some new blood. I mean, that was a registered Democrat who'd been voting Democratic her entire life, and when she was in the polling booth, she almost changed her vote to Trump. And I think a lot of Democrats might be doing that, and that could be hopeful if we want to put a Republican in the White House.
Well, yeah, for Democrats listening, would you consider Trump over Hillary, particularly if you're a Bernie supporter, because that's the more direct appeal Trump has already been making and will continue to make as for those Bernie supporters, particularly, and Bernie is saying a lot of the same things that Trump said about the situation being rigged and the media is against him and all of these things, while also having the real momentum. Hillary has inertia that nobody on the Republican side had to go up to Trump's momentum. But Sanders has the momentum. He has the revolt. And that revolt element, may cross over and vote for somebody who is, amoral and without core like Donald Trump. I don't know. It's certainly possible. I don't pretend to understand how the left thinks because they don't. Mark in Plainfield, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Andy. It's time for all you conservative disc jockeys to break out the Steven Stills and start playing Love the One You With, because that's who we got to go with. And I think Trump's the perfect guy for the job. Despite his flaws, you get the sense he loves America and wants to fix our problems, unlike his opponent who thinks she should be queen and is basically going after the throne she feels she was robbed of 8 years ago. Trump's the man.
Thanks for the call, Mark. Instant request. Love the One You're With. We'll take your instant request. Spin some records today.
Yeah,
there it is.
Turn it up.
Mark
DJ,
in Plainfield.
DJ Dan. I love when you spin those records.
Conservative disc jockey, that's me. Will and Skokie, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning. As you said, Dan, I think you hit it on the head that basically a bunch of people felt disenfranchised and they struck out. The problem is going to be when the manure hits the ventilator, which it's going to start happening fairly soon.
Well said.
We've got Illinois going bankrupt. We've got, Puerto Rico. We've got all these other things happening, Obamacare. We've got a ton of stuff happening. And the problem that you have with Trump is that he will not be able to solve a problem like this. He will be able to kick it down the road or make it go away, but populists cannot usually get the people to stand up and sacrifice for things, and that's where it's going to be a problem.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Will. Appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, the question is, once you get beyond this cult of personality and you get beyond the kind of the back and forth, the binary choice of Trump and Cruz and Trump and Hillary, do you still think, after everything you've seen, and just consider this question, keep this question in your mind as this campaign rolls on over the next 6 months, do you really think that Trump is going to be the guy who takes the bicycle chain to the playground in D.C.? Is he really going to redefine the federal government? Is he really going to produce everything he promises to produce? Do you really believe that he is going to dismantle the ruling class in D.C., or do you think he's going to fold in ultimately?
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Hi, I'm Lex Howard, CEO of Balance of Nature. Statistics show that most people will listen to this commercial 7 times before they finally purchase Balance of Nature. Don't be a statistic. Take action to determine your future.
Well, I'm pretty stupid. I should have ordered it 15 years ago. Best thing I ever got in my... It's the most effective product that I've ever bought in my life. Yeah, I tell everyone to get it, but everyone gives you a wise answer. Oh, just eat good food. Well, how are you going to eat 15 fruits and whatever? Unless you lived on a farm.
I'm doing well. I definitely have more energy, and there's a big improvement.
Begin giving your body the fruits and vegetables it needs every day. Accept and complete Dr. Howard's 120-day health challenge to earn a free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
You know, it's not too late to give the perfect gift for mom this Mother's Day. It's Sunday, you know. So give her the gift of a great night's sleep. Give her a MyPillow. It conforms to your neck and back. It helps if you have chronic neck and back pain, if you have insomnia, allergies, snoring issues. There's a 60-day full money-back guarantee if you're not satisfied. But I know you will be. It's American-made, tens of thousands of satisfied customers. And right now we still have the 2-for-1 offer. Buy one for mom, keep one for yourself. Go to MyPillow.com, type Amy in the promo code 2 MyPillows for the price of one. Or you can call 800-489-0201. That's 800-489-0201. And be sure to tell them that Amy sent you. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Talk a little bit about American culture and the intersection of politics with Theodore Dalrymple from City Journal at 6:36.
But first, into the newsroom we go. Here is Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, good morning. Good morning, everyone. We have partly sunny skies and 48 degrees. And Donald Trump says this morning he was thrown a curveball when Ted Cruz dropped out of the presidential race last night.
Together, we left it all on the field in Indiana. We gave it everything we've got. But the voters chose another path.
Trump telling NBC's Today Show just moments ago he was surprised by that move, which was a tough decision for the Texas senator.
Just so you understand, Ted Cruz, I don't know if he likes me or if he doesn't like me, but he is one hell of a competitor. He is a tough, smart guy.
Donald Trump's win in Indiana is not changing rival John Kasich's plans. Trump's decisive victory in the Hoosier state puts him within reach of the Republican nomination, but Kasich says he's still in. Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders is confident that he can beat Donald Trump in the race for the White House.
I think that while the path is narrow, and I do not deny that for a moment, I think we can pull off one of the great political upsets in the history of the United States.
Todd Young, the winner over Marlon Stutzman in Indiana's U.S. Senate race.
If we don't hold on to Indiana's U.S. Senate seat, the Republican Senate seat, we may well not retain control of the entire U.S. Senate. And so I aim to work very hard to earn the trust and support of every Hoosier conservative.
Young now battles Democrat Barron Hill, who he has already beaten in November's general election. President Obama heads to Flint, Michigan, to get a close-up perspective on the lead water crisis there, a bill that would have let Georgia students carry concealed weapons on college campuses is dead. Republican Governor Nathan Deal vetoed that measure. An Illinois woman shot while driving along Interstate 9094 near the Wisconsin Dells has died of her injuries. 44-year-old Tracy Schakowsky was hit in that drive-by shooting. Police have 3 in custody. Proceedings continue for a University of Illinois student accused of suffocating a newborn infant in a dorm bathroom. Lindsey Johnson of Monee appeared in court yesterday on multiple charges, including murder. And students could soon be paying a lot more to attend Illinois State. School's Board of Trustees will be discussing a possible tuition hike at a meeting this Friday. Cubs over Pittsburgh 7-1. White Sox cut John Danks and beat Boston 4-1. The news, a service of Napa Auto Parts. Keep your phone's battery out of the red by grabbing a portable power pack for only $14.99 at participating Napa Auto Parts stores until the end of the month. That's Napa Know-How. 6:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
The Indiana primary is over.
Together, we left it all on the field in Indiana. We gave it everything we've got. But the voters chose another path.
Ted Cruz folds his tent.
We are suspending our campaign.
Now it's Trump.
We're going to love each other. We're going to cherish each other. We're going to take care of each other.
The ride to the White House is crazy.
We're going to win. We're going to win in November.
What happens next happens here. This is your election station, AM 560, The Answer.
Can you grow your business? Goose your bottom line? GoDaddy can help with website design, online marketing tools, and 24/7 expert advice. Go you. GoDaddy.
Loan is a 15-year fixed-rate loan with a 1-0 lender paid buyout. Reduced payment valid only during the first 12 months. The monthly payment during the first 12 months of your loan is based on a rate that is 1% lower than your interest rate for this loan program. Not all applicants will qualify. Rates and terms subject to change. Illinois Residential Mortgage Licensee 14511 Myford Road, Suite 100, Tustin, California 92780. NMLS 6606, Equal Housing Lender.
Introducing a 15-year fixed-rate loan with a fixed payment rate in year one at only 1.99%. I'm Rick Arviello, CEO of New American Funding, and I'm proud to announce a 15-year fixed-rate mortgage at only 2.99% interest rate, 2.91 APR, with the first full year's payment at only 1.99% fixed payment rate. Pay off your loan in 15 years and save tens of thousands of dollars in unnecessary mortgage payments. 1.99% fixed payment rate in year one and 2.99% fixed for the remaining term, 2.91% APR for a purchase or refinance.
Call New American Funding today at 800-963-4933. That's 800-963-4933. Or visit newamericanfunding.com today.
6:36 in our Guardian Security Services Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. The inbound Edens has delays starting at Dempster, 27 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 21. The Kennedy, 35 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, outbound 25. The Eisenhower, now 53 minutes. Thorndale to downtown, outbound 48. Stevenson, an hour and 10 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, 45 minutes from the Tri-State, outbound 40 minutes to 355. Bryan, 27 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 35 minutes, I-80 to the Merge, Bishop Ford 30. Tri-State for scattered delays, Southwest Highway to 47th. That's jammed from the Reagan Tollway to Grand Avenue. Eastbound Adams Tollway slow Roselle to 53 and Toohey to the River Road Toll. Traffic is a service of Subway. All May at Subway. Get a free delicious 6-inch breakfast sandwich when you buy any sandwich before 9 a.m., making May the best month ever. That's right, all month long before 9 a.m., your breakfast is free when you buy any sandwich you like. The Subway Sandwich Shop. Fresh is what they do. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the AirComfort.com Weather Center. AirComfort.com, 80 years of quality mechanical solutions for your business. Cloudy, breezy, cooler, a few breaks of sunshine with a high of 52. Will clear up overnight. Breezy and cold, a low of 39. Partly sunny tomorrow and warmer, high near 60. Currently 45 at O'Hare. Next news at 7. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Market Overdrive with Carla Mina, a power hour of real estate trends, secrets, and advice. Heard every Saturday afternoon at 1.
Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues now. And make sure to stay tuned to catch me, Mike Gallagher, coming up at 9, only on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So, Amy,
Yes.
the United States Education Secretary, one John B. King Jr., said this week that state laws like North Carolina that prohibit public school students from using bathrooms designated for the opposite sex are, quote unquote, hateful. Hateful. And you know who agrees with him?
CPS Chief Education Officer Janice Jackson?
Yeah, Chicago Public Schools, they're on board, Miss Jackson, if you're nasty.
Yeah, I spent
or
some
if
time
you're
with her
nasty
last
to
week.
transgendered, announce policies that ensure every student and adult in CPS can participate in an environment of complete tolerance and respect. And, of course, that necessarily means men going to the bathroom with little girls.
Well, in other words, all students, and this includes teachers, Dan, who identify themselves as girls or women, can use the ladies' bathroom and locker room. And if you ID or feel like a boy or a man, you get to use the men's room and the men's locker room.
Yeah, no, I'm right. That's what
So
it is.
that's
And
however
if,
you're feeling.
And however you're feeling at any given moment. There is a lawsuit that's being announced today, District 211.
Yeah.
Up there in Palatine.
From high school. Yeah.
Right. They're announcing a federal lawsuit to, I assume, enjoin the policy that CPS is adopting and that has been forced on them by the school board with respect to, boys and girls' locker rooms. And, of course, this is something that Trump supports. Donald Trump, the presumptive Republican nominee, perhaps the presumptive next president of the United States, this is something he supports. He doesn't see any problem with it because anything that degrades the culture, Donald Trump is either on board with or unconcerned about. And so for more on that, a clinical view, if you will, in addition to the view of an informed cultural critic, we're happy to be joined again by our friend Theodore Dalrymple. He is a medical doctor, psychiatrist. He's also the contributing editor at City Journal, and I would encourage our listeners, as I have before, to check out his most recent book, Admirable Evasions. Mr. Dalrymple, thanks again for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you for asking me.
So the whole bathroom movement now, if you will.
It's true, though.
Well, it's a little play on words. So should this be a surprise to any of us after we have redefined marriage and redefined gender, and now we're redefining the facilities?
No, I mean, I hesitate to satirize it because if you satirize something, it soon becomes policy. So things that you would have thought are impossible soon become not only possible but obligatory. So I hesitate to comment.
But so I want to go back to something that Paul McHugh said. Paul McHugh was the former head of psychiatry at Johns Hopkins. Johns Hopkins University, which, by the way, one of the most respected medical institutions, medical schools in the world, stopped doing gender reassignment surgery because they actually studied the effects on their patients and found them to be generally deleterious to their patients' well-being. So that's worth noting, kind of lost in the discussion. But McHugh said something about this idea that everybody's living their truth, and whatever you feel or think at any given moment needs immediate validation and implementation. He said, well, wait, if we can't question what people are thinking, then why don't we just eliminate the entire discipline of psychiatry? Because that's what it's about.
Yes, I mean, it rather dissolves the idea of a delusion. So you're persecuted if you think you are. And I've just come back from Australia, incidentally, where one of the definitions of being an Aborigine is if you think you're an Aborigine. It doesn't actually mean that you have any Aboriginal ancestry.
Well, what does this all mean for society as a whole?
Well, I suppose it's a form of inflamed egotism, and everybody now wants to identifies himself as part of a member of an oppressed minority, because of course we think that the only honourable thing to be is a victim, and therefore we have to manufacture our own victimhood, and we dramatise ourselves in this way. We are all living in a kind of soap opera. Well, not all of us, but many of us.
And then so Donald Trump is the perfect president of the United States in this time.
Well, you said that he's for it, but I think that is just for now. I mean, one doesn't know what, if anything, he believes.
Now, are there any cases on record where somebody posed as they're a man, but they went into the women's washroom and tried to videotape them or do anything nefarious?
Well, I don't know of that, but it would be very surprising if there were no such cases. But I don't actually personally know of any cases.
I mean, just thinking about the kind of cultural implications, the implications for civilization. Yeah, I don't want to overstate the case, but we're on this continuum, and so kind of how do you assess where we're going in terms of kind of the national or international mindset?
Yeah, I think in a way this is all the consequence of the loss of religious belief. I mean, I'm not religious myself, but to get meaning in life, people have to find something, transcendent meaning, and I think constant social reform is one of the possible ways of finding meaning. So that's why as soon as there is a reform in some direction which is claimed to be necessary, you immediately, within weeks, pass on to the next reform. Because the struggle for reform is the meaning. And that's why this will continue. I mean, I haven't yet thought of what's going to be next, but already in Sweden, I believe there's agitation for incestuous marriage.
Sure. You know, I mean, right, when you erase all the lines, who gets to redraw them? Yeah,
I heard that argument be made here, too, that, you know, if we're having same-sex marriage, why can't a mother marry her son? It's not a sexual relationship, but when she dies, she wants him to get her Social Security. And if they've been living together, then what's wrong with that? Why can't they get married?
Sure.
Well, why can't they have sexual relations, in fact? Because it's perfectly possible. If the argument is that it's not very good genetically, we now have good birth control, and therefore...
what's wrong with that?
What's wrong with necrophilia? Who does necrophilia harm?
Sure.
And in public. Why not in public? Because... it's just, if you say, well, I think it's disgusting, I just say, well, that's your opinion, but I don't think it is disgusting.
In fact,
just go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, we need to have like a necrophiliac community center. So because they're entitled
I
to
wouldn't
space.
say that.
Anybody, please.
I wouldn't suggest that because before long, it's going to happen.
Yeah, so this is interesting too. I mean, a psychiatrist friend of mine is one to say that need informs perception. But I think we need to take maybe one step back and say our wants have turned into quote-unquote needs that drive our perception, that drive our demands. And do you agree with that, the kind of the confusion of needs versus wants?
Yes, I do. And also, of course, one has to remember that there are fashions in all these things. I don't know whether you remember, there was a fashion, if I can so call it, for multiple personality disorder not very long ago, which seems to have receded. Nobody talks about it much anymore. But at one time, people were talking about 1%, 2%, 3% of the population having this disorder. These things are if you like, fashions as well as anything else.
So you mean in terms of fashions that insinuate themselves into science like psychiatry?
Yes. I mean, it's not the most psychiatric conditions, or at any rate disorders, are not actually facts of nature in the sense that, shall we say, tuberculosis is a fact of nature. And there may be one or two disorders which are, I think there probably are, but because the borders are so ill-defined, anything can become a disorder. And if you actually look at the new DSM-5 and add up the prevalences, you can find that the average person has 2.5 psychiatric disorders a year.
Okay. If you were transgender or I'm trying to think which one mine are. If you're transgender or transsexual, is that a disorder?
If it is, it will soon cease to be a disorder because to call it a disorder is
hate speech.
Yes.
Yeah. Let me posit something else for your reaction. The idea of connections to other human beings, connecting the dots that provide meaning, as you were talking about before. People need transcendental meaning. Part of that is connecting the dots so you have a richer and deeper understanding of the world around you, and also connecting to other human beings in terms of adding meaning and value to your life. And I wonder if there is a drive from a particular viewpoint to disconnect so that it's purposeful that we live more atomized lives.
Yes, on the other hand, of course, it's one way of forming a community. So you demand something, and then you form a community with those people who want the same thing. So it's both atomizing and forming communities at the same time. What it does is really balkanize society into little nations, if you like, of people with various resentments, desires, wants, and so on. So we're becoming a more balkanized society.
He is Theodore Dalrymple. He's a contributing editor at City Journal, a publication of the Manhattan Institute, and he's his latest book, which you should check out, Admirable Evasions. Theodore Dalrymple, thanks so much for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
And he joined us on our Turnkey.Pro answer line.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
sunshine now, some thin high clouds, and it's going to be mild for this time of year, a high of just 52 degrees. But tomorrow, partly sunny and warmer, a high of 60. And on Friday, it's going to be spectacular around here. Mostly sunny, a high near 80 degrees. Travel times, here's Jim Telemonte.
The Edens inbound is 35 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose outbound 22. The Kennedy now 40 minutes. O'Hare to downtown outbound 35. The Ike an hour and 5 minutes. Thorndale to the post office outbound 51 minutes. Stevenson is an hour and 10 minutes. 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive 45 minutes from the Tri-State outbound 40 minutes to 3:55. The Ryan 30 minutes 95th to downtown. I-57 35 minutes. I-80 to the Merge Mission Ford 30. Northbound Tri-State delays, Southwest Highway to LaGrange Road from the Stevenson to 47th, from Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue curve. Reagan Tollway really messed up with heavy delays from 53 all the way to the Eisenhower. Southbound 53 is slow Beesterfield to Irving Park with a crash blocking the shoulders. Jim Talamonte, Guardian Security Services Traffic Center.
I'm Lou Dobbs. A century-old newspaper rivalry has ended in Florida. Regulators say no recall for Ford F-150 trucks. Nonprofit hospitals under the gun. Those stories next.
Attention, all timeshare owners. Were you a victim of a high-pressure or dishonest timeshare sales agent? Were you confused with what you were buying or didn't provide what you were promised? Do you feel that you overpaid for your timeshare, can't afford it, or do you simply not use it anymore and just want out? If you answered yes to any of these questions, we can help. We're Timeshare Compliance, and every day we help hundreds of timeshare victims protect their rights. Our team can legally terminate your timeshare agreement, ending the payments forever, saving you thousands. In some cases, we can even get you a refund of the fees you previously paid. But you must act now. Call 800-811-7670 or visit timesharecompliance.com for a free consultation. We can help you save thousands, but only if you call 800-811-7670 or visit timesharecompliance.com for an absolutely free consultation. That's 800-811-7670 or timesharecompliance.com.
After 123 years as a standalone newspaper, the Tampa Tribune has been bought by its rival, the Tampa Bay Times. Although the purchase price wasn't disclosed, the transaction ends a decades-long rivalry between the two papers. Reports today on our economy. Investors focused on the latest reports on productivity and mortgage interest rates. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration has closed the books on an investigation into power brake failures on Ford F-150 trucks without ordering any recall. Ford's F-Series trucks are top sellers in the industry. 7 out of the 10 most profitable hospitals in this country are nonprofits. A new survey comes just as city officials are ramping up demands for hospitals to justify their tax-exempt status. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight at 7 and 11 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
We're so excited about our sold-out golf outing at the Bolingbrook Golf Club coming up on Thursday, June 16th to benefit Operation Support Our Troops America.
If you weren't able to get in this year, don't worry. You can still reserve a tee time at the Bolingbrook Golf Club anytime this spring or summer by visiting BolingbrookGolfClub.com.
And thanks to the sponsors who are making our golf outing possible.
Remax Professionals, Charity Golf International, Dr. Amy and Associates, MJ Miller and Company Jewelers in Barrington, Augustino's Rock and Roll Deli, and Pearl Mortgage.
Hi, this is Tony Gatliff with a reminder that you can listen to in-depth interviews with some of our nation's top military brass every Sunday morning from 9 to 10 on Military Mortgage Talk here on AM 560, The Answer. Sponsored by BBMC Mortgage, Military Mortgage Talk also has the latest on VA home loans, VA benefits, mortgages, veterans issues, military current events, and, well, a little bit of everything.
Military Mortgage Talk, Sunday mornings at 9 on AM 560, The Answer.
Your favorite restaurant, a smashing Broadway play, the most talented doctor. There are many things in life that'll make you go the extra distance. So why not take extra time when it comes to your dental health? That's why Artistic Dentistry in Homer Glen should be your first and only call at 708-301-6060. Artistic Dentistry is Destination Dentistry. Dr. Akrush and his team see patients from as far as the northern suburbs to northwest Indiana. And they're so confident you'll receive the smile you want, they'll pay for your gas. That's right. All new patients receive a $25 gas card and a free Zoom take-home whitening kit during their first visit. With a 5-star rating from more than 300 online reviewers, you'll see why Artistic Dentistry can be Destination Dentistry for you and your family. Schedule now at 708-301-6060 or online at artisticdentistry.com. dentistry-pc.com. Must mention this ad for gas card while supplies last.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, so we're talking about culture. Here's a corollary to our discussion with Theodore Dalrymple. The FDA, Food and Drug Administration, launching a $35 million ad campaign, anti-smoking campaign, specifically targeting the LGBTQ MSNORPQT community.
Can I get a ball?
And according to the FDA, the campaign, quote, uses authentic and credible messages from members of the LGBT community, encouraging other members to be tobacco-free. And here's that public service announcement you're paying for.
I'm known for my cute face and flawless skin. I'm known to be a queen with a sensible nail. Hair. Known for that. My smile. I'll be known for a lot of things, but I will never be known for wrinkled skin. Yellow nails. Smelly hair. Or a busted smile. All caused by what? Smoking. Yes, queen. Every cigarette is doing you damage. Because I'm known for my flawless. I live free from tobacco.
Apparently the people who brought you Moulin Rouge are running the FDA.
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Do you know what a RIA is? It's a real estate investor association, and it's where smart people go to obtain wholesale houses, obtain no money, no credit financing, meet local buyers, sellers, and investing partners, and receive local market intelligence and training. Don't buy houses retail. That's ridiculous. And please don't waste your time and money going to a get-rich-quick seminar from a traveling pitchman. Come network with local Chicagoland real estate investors that are just getting started or taking it to the next level. Come join the largest real estate investor network in Chicagoland. We meet on Tuesday, May 10th at 6 p.m. at the Chicago Marriott Schaumburg on Martingale Road. And you can register to attend for free by calling 800-868-4914. 800-868-4914. This month's topic, how to get all the money you need for real estate deals. Call 800-868-4914. Write it down. That's 800-868-4914 to attend any of our upcoming meetings and receive a valuable real estate training program for free. 800-868-4914. Brought to you by the Schaumburg Wealth Club.
Now that spring has arrived, it's likely you're looking forward to the warmer weather. But if you're a business owner, facilities manager, or maintenance engineer, you risk the same potential problem every year. A complete system failure. In fact, up to half of all commercial air conditioning units fail upon startup each season due to the lack of regular maintenance and repair. Let the professionals at Air Comfort make a comprehensive assessment of your mechanical system before there's a problem. A poorly operating air conditioning system results in uneven temperatures and humidity problems, leading to unhealthy mold and mildew growth. Don't compromise your business's overall air quality. Schedule today with Air Comfort. Call 708-345-1900 or visit aircomfort.com. Even if you're under contract with another provider, let Air Comfort provide your second opinion. After all, there's a reason why hundreds of businesses have trusted Air Comfort with their mechanical maintenance for more than 80 years. That's Air Comfort, a tradition of excellence since 1935.
No matter what type of business you're in, having a strong business banking partnership can help your bottom line. I'm Jeff Boundy, president of Cornerstone National Bank and Trust Company. We strongly believe that trust, service, and relationship are the cornerstone of a successful business banking partnership. Customers like Dr. Steichen of Northwest Oral and Maxillofacial Surgery agree.
Hi, my name is Dr. Michael Steichen of Northwest Oral and Maxillofacial Surgery in Arlington Heights, Elgin, and Lake Zurich. As an oral surgeon and business owner, I recognize the importance of relationships. I need a bank that responds quickly and creatively and understands the unique needs of healthcare practices. Cornerstone has been a valuable business partner. It's helped me grow my practice and seize opportunities as they come up. Whether it's a line of credit, financing equipment, or real estate, Cornerstone is there for me.
Thank you, Doctor. Please visit cornerstonenb.com, or I invite you to give me a call at 847-654-3000 to explore a business banking partnership.
Equal Opportunity Lender, member FDIC.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, who should be Donald Trump's vice presidential candidate?
And will Trump's first act as president of the United States be to reconvene the Warren Commission at 7:07?
But first, into the newsroom we go. Here's Mike Scott.
Here are the stories we're watching right now. An escaped Indiana inmate and girlfriend captured in Texas. Sox and Cubs with wins overnight and a sunny day ahead. WIND Chicago News Time, 7 o'clock.
Fox News Radio. I'm Dave Anthony. He's the presumptive Republican nominee.
You know, now we're going to unify the party. We're going to get people together.
Donald Trump, after taking Indiana and breaking Ted Cruz.
He did the right thing, I think, for himself, for his family, and for the party.
Trump's 53% of the Indiana vote gave him at least 51 more delegates for Republicans, so Cruz gave up. Fox's Eben Brown was in Indianapolis.
After claiming victory.
It was not a surprise to many people to see Donald Trump win the Indiana Republican primary, but the room filled with Ted Cruz supporters gasped when the senator told them the race was over.
It appears that path has been foreclosed.
There were tears and there was anger and vows of never supporting Donald Trump, not even in November's general election, but John Kasich vows to stay in. In Indianapolis, Eben Brown, Fox News.
Indiana Democrats went for Bernie Sanders. He got 52% in the primary.
After claiming victory in Tuesday's Indiana primary, Bernie Sanders says he's gaining momentum and is about to make history.
I think we can pull off one of the great political upsets in the history of the United States and, in fact, become the nominee for the Democratic Party.
Sanders shrugged off Hillary Clinton's attempts to write off his campaign, simply saying, "I've got some bad news for her." In New Albany, Indiana, Will Clark, Fox News.
Kids are back in school in Detroit because their teachers are back in the classroom.
Power to the people.
They walked out for 2 days, upset they may not get paid this summer, but Detroit's district has assured them they'll get their money. Flags are at half staff in Arizona today. In honor of the Navy SEAL killed in combat in Iraq yesterday in the fight against ISIS, he's been ID'd as Charlie Keating IV. His grandfather, Charles, was the infamous in the 80s, jailed in a savings and loan scandal. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
Sunshine, 44 degrees, winds north at 12 at 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Officials say an Illinois woman shot in a drive-by shooting on a Wisconsin interstate has been declared brain dead. Tracy Shakowski was struck in a drive-by shooting on her way back Sunday from the Wisconsin Dells. Police do have 3 men in custody. Her husband is a U.S. Drug Enforcement Agency agent. Zachary Hayes of West Allis is the alleged gunman and faces charges along with his brother Jeremy and a third brother not being identified at this time. Proceedings continue for a University of Illinois student accused of suffocating her newborn infant in a dorm bathroom. Lindsey Johnson of Mooney appeared in court yesterday on multiple charges, including murder, child endangerment, and concealment of a homicidal death. A suburban Chicago man freed last year after his conviction for a 1999 murder was thrown out because of invalid evidence is suing Lake County and the city of Waukegan. Jason Strong walked out of the Menard Correctional Center last May after serving 15 years of a 46-year sentence tied to the death of 34-year-old Mary Kate Sunderland of Carpentersville. Chicago Public Schools making it clear to students and parents they can use the bathroom that best matches their gender identity. It is not a new policy for CPS, but the chief education officer made the announcement Tuesday to clarify existing policy that also applies to locker rooms and shared hotel rooms for school trips. Cubs over Pittsburgh 7-1. White Sox beat Boston 4-1, then cut starter John Danks, expected today to end his 10-year run with the team. The news service of Subway. All May at Subway, get a free, delicious 6-inch breakfast sandwich when you buy any sandwich before 9 a.m., making May the best month ever. That's right, all month long before 9 a.m., your breakfast is free when you buy any sandwich you like. Subway Sandwich Shop. Fresh is what we do. 7:04 is our time. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
The Indiana primary is over.
Together, we left it all on the field in Indiana. We gave it everything we've got. But the voters chose another path.
Ted Cruz folds his tent.
We are suspending our campaign.
Now it's Trump.
We're going to love each other. We're going to cherish each other. We're going to take care of each other.
The ride to the White House is crazy.
We're going to win. We're going to win in November.
What happens next happens here. This is your election station, AM 560. The Answer.
Guys, are you tired of being tired? Frustrated because it seems impossible to lose belly fat? If you're looking for a solution, then listen to Mark.
I had fantastic results with the Andro 400 Max. Probably lost 35 pounds, and more impressive than that was the inches I lost off of my belly and my waist. And the increased energy is fantastic. I'll be totally honest, I tried a different product, and I wasn't happy with the different product. You guys are considerably cheaper than the other brand, and I can really feel the difference.
Andro 400 Max, the extra strength, all natural testosterone booster. The safe, easy, and affordable way to gain energy and lose stubborn belly fat. Satisfaction guaranteed or your money back. Feel and look like a new man. Go to andro400.com or call 888-400-0435. 888-400-0435.
If you have a new phone, any phone, smartphone, iPhone, listen up. Every 2 seconds, one of us will accidentally break our phone. So guess what? Insuring, protecting your phone and all the phones in your family is a really smart idea. But if you have insurance from one of those big cell phone companies, I promise you, you're paying way too much. Switch to SquareTrade.com phone protection today, and you'll save hundreds of dollars a year per phone. For example, if you have Verizon or Sprint, well, they can charge $11 a month for phone insurance. Now, for a family of 4, that's $44 a month, plus up to a $199 deductible when you do break your phone. Now, SquareTrade has a family protection plan. Well, that's less than $4 a month per phone. Well, that means a family of 4 is saving over $500 a year. So stop overpaying for phone protection. Protect all your phones with SquareTrade instead. Just go to SquareTrade.com. That's SquareTrade.com.
SquareTrade does not cover lost or stolen items. Savings based on 2-year iPhone plan with 1 claim compared to Asurion total equipment coverage as of August 2015.
7:06. Let's get an update on the roads at our Guardian Security Services Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. In Skokie, Howard is closed between Costner and Skokie Boulevard with down power lines. 53 has southbound delays from Easterfield to Irving Park, where a crash blocks both shoulders. Edens is 30 minutes, Lake Hook to Montrose, outbound 25. The Kennedy, 40 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 45. The Eisenhower's now an hour and 15 minutes. Thorndale to downtown, an hour from Manheim. Outbound 54 minutes to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour and 20 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive, an hour from the Tri-State. Outbound an hour and 5 minutes to 355 after a crash before Harlem. Ryan, 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State. Slow Southwest Highway to LaGrange Road from the Stevenson to 31st. From Reagan Tollway to Grand Avenue. Adams Tollway, Roselle to 53 and 2-way to the River Road Toll. Reagan Tollway jammed to 53 to the Eisenhower. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the AirComfort.com Weather Center. Here's our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
A breezy day today with wind gusts up to 35 miles per hour. Mostly cloudy with a shower in the area with a high of 52. For tonight, wind gusts up to 30 miles per hour. Partly cloudy and chilly with a low 39. Warmer tomorrow with partial sunshine, high of 60. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
45 at O'Hare, 47 along the lakefront. Next news at 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Real Estate Live with Andrew Holmes. Get honest answers to your questions every Sunday at 12 noon.
Good morning. Welcome to your Wednesday morning briefing. Here's what you need to know to start your day.
And so, with a heavy heart, we are suspending our campaign.
Just so you understand, Ted Cruz, I don't know if he likes me or if he doesn't like me, but he is one hell of a competitor. He is a tough, smart guy.
Get on the Trump train! Yeah.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So, who should Trump's VP be? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. We'll take serious answers. We'll take unserious answers. We'll try and have a serious discussion about it. I don't know how long it will last. My suggestion, Oliver Stone. So it didn't last very long.
No, it didn't last very long. I don't think it's going to be Ted Cruz because during Ted Cruz's concession speech, he didn't mention Donald Trump's name once.
Right.
Donald Trump, of course, mentioned Ted Cruz's name 3 times.
Well, we heard that at the top.
Yes.
Trump calling Cruz a tough competitor with a bright future. And
But I have the best idea ever.
well, let's get to your idea. I want to get to your
I'm
idea.
chomping at the bit
I know,
right
but
now,
let's
but
get to your
that's
idea.
all right.
But one maybe the reason Ted Cruz didn't mention Trump was something that happened earlier yesterday, where Donald Trump insinuated that Ted Cruz's father was in cahoots with Lee Harvey Oswald as it pertains to the assassination of John F. Kennedy. I wish I was making this up. Donald Trump makes it impossible to write the comedy. My imagination is not that good. Here's what Donald Trump said on Fox and Friends yesterday morning.
His father was with Lee Harvey Oswald prior to Oswald's being, shot. I mean, the whole thing is ridiculous. What is this, right prior to his being shot? And nobody even brings it up. I mean, they don't even talk about that. That was reported, and nobody talks about it. But I think it's horrible.
Right. There was a picture out there that reportedly shows Rafael Cruz standing with Lee Harvey Oswald.
I mean, what was he doing with Lee Harvey Oswald shortly before the death, before the shooting? It's horrible.
Sure.
It's horrible.
And of course, Donald Trump, the National Enquirer is his primary news source. He went on to say later on Sean Hannity's radio program yesterday afternoon that they are big professionals over there at the National Enquirer. They would never print anything that was untrue or could not be substantiated.
And that's a big fat lie because 2 weeks prior to that article, they printed and insinuated that Ted Cruz was, a serial philanderer.
And this, I think, finally got to Ted Cruz, where he decided to take out after Trump yesterday afternoon in a way that he hadn't before. I think the combination of the Kasich-Cruz alliance in Indiana wasn't working, and the Fiorina wasn't working, and they probably knew what the result was going to be yesterday.
Governor Pence wasn't working.
Right. And so Cruz went on about a 7 or 8 minute riff on Donald Trump. And let's just go down Donald Trump's qualities according to Ted Cruz, starting with his pathological lying.
I'm going to tell you what I really think of Donald Trump. This man is a pathological liar. He doesn't know the difference between truth and lies. He lies practically every word that comes out of his mouth. And in a pattern that I think is straight out of a psychology textbook, his response is to accuse everybody else of lying.
So that's pathological liar.
Right. And then when you're done, I have to play my favorite. It's a showstopper,
The,
really.
the next trait
is what?
Narcissist.
Oh, yeah.
The man cannot tell the truth, but he combines it with being a narcissist. A narcissist at a level I don't think this country's ever seen. Donald Trump is such a narcissist that Barack Obama looks at him and goes, "Dude, what's your problem?"
Okay.
It's getting better.
It's pathological liar. We got narcissist. Now amoral.
But the man is utterly amoral. Let me finish this, please. The man is utterly amoral. Morality does not exist for him.
And so we got pathological liar, narcissist, amoral, bully.
But Donald is a bully. We just visited with 5th graders. Every one of us knew bullies in elementary school. Bullies don't come from strength. Bullies come from weakness. Bullies come from a deep, yawning cavern of insecurity. There is a reason Donald builds giant buildings and puts his name on them everywhere he goes.
Oh my God!
It's a wait, one more. We got pathological liar. Right. We got narcissist. We got amoral. We got bully. Now we got traitor.
Donald will betray his supporters on every issue.
That's true.
So that we'll see, but that was a tour de force from Ted Cruz yesterday.
But there's one more, Dan, and it's my absolute favorite because he hit him back with, sarcasm is a form of communication, and that was front and center.
This is nuts. Yes, my dad killed JFK. He is secretly Elvis, and Jimmy Hoffa is buried in his backyard.
Yeah, it is nuts.
I mean, it is nuts. But then he went from that to winning and just trouncing Ted Cruz in Indiana and knocking him out of the race.
Well, that was built into yesterday, well before Trump's foray into black helicopter conspiracy theories. Your idea for Trump's VP?
I think Carly Fiorina. I think that would be the wise choice for Donald Trump right now. Now, I know she's already dabbled in being a 1-week VP candidate with Ted Cruz.
Well, as I said, I've
would
had
just warm her up for the big show.
I've had hangovers longer than the Cruz Fiorina ticket. I don't think you're going to see Fiorina recycled.
Why not? I mean, she'd be perfect if he was trying to get the woman vote. He could court Carly Fiorina, and then he'd nail that. And she'd be great in a debate, and I would trust her if something would unexpectedly happen to Donald Trump.
I like Carly, but here's the thing. I think you still have a number of Republicans that would be good running mates that are not interested in being Trump's running mate, at least not at this point.
Do you think he'll ever reach out to Ted Cruz? I mean, he did commend him yesterday. He praised him 3 times.
Just so you understand, Ted Cruz, I don't know if he likes me or if he doesn't like me, but he is one hell of a competitor. He is.
Yeah.
That won't happen.
Text from 708, waiting for Dan to pivot to attacking Hillary, still waiting. Spent a lot of time talking about Hillary. To talk about Hillary yesterday with the coal miner forum she had. We'll talk a lot about Hillary. And we're going to talk a lot about Trump, too, because they're going to be the respective nominees for the respective political parties, unless Jim Comey intervenes, because, Bernie may be able to force and contest a convention, but he even realizes the deck is stacked against him. But in terms of VPs, so Carly is interesting. Text from 847, this is interesting. Trump's VP, a regular guest of yours, former Representative Mike Rogers. That's interesting because he was chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, FBI background, military background, obviously a political background as a congressman. That's an interesting to Michigan. That's a important Rust Belt state that maybe Trump can flip and put into play in a way that Republicans over the past many cycles haven't. That's interesting.
Florida and Ohio, though. I mean, John Kasich, possibly Marco Rubio.
I don't think Rubio's in the running. I don't think that makes a lot of sense. Kasich, maybe.
Somebody else just texted in from 708, Martinez from New Mexico.
Susanna Martinez. Yeah.
Hispanic vote, female vote.
Yeah, New Mexico is a swing state, too. I'm not sure. I like, I've suggested before, maybe Jim Webb. In terms of kind of coming from the same perspective and a Democrat, but kind of a Scoop Jackson Democrat from Virginia, another swing state. But we'll take your suggestions. Harry and Wilmette, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yes, I was going to suggest Dennis Rodman because he would add diversity to the ticket. He's excelled in an area outside of politics. He actually has some foreign policy chops that Trump.
Sure.
And he would, and he actually preserve his real estate interest because one of the leaders in Asia wants to nuke Manhattan, which would obviously be detrimental to his real estate empire.
Yeah, thanks for the call,
and
Harry.
They're friends. They already know each other because he was on Celebrity Apprentice.
Yeah, Dennis Rodman for vice president. Not to mention, he likes wearing dresses, so that appeals to the transgender community.
Right. Yeah.
So he's got the North Korea shuttle diplomacy credential. He's got the diversity credential because he's African American.
He's got name recognition.
He's got the cross-dressing
and he's an
credential.
athlete. He's an athlete.
Yeah,
Donald Trump's an athlete too. In case you didn't know, he let us all know last night he's a competitor too.
And he's an unhinged, reckless celebrity.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Put Rodman on the short list. What about Gary Busey?
Oh.
Or let's see, John Voight, Mike Tyson.
Oh, Mike Tyson. Ugh.
Tila Tequila.
Did Tila Tequila really support him?
Oh, yeah. Steve in Lockport, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Morning, Dan. Morning, Amy. Love what you're doing with the Policy Institute, Dan.
Thank you.
As far as VP, Martinez is great. Webb is great for the obvious reasons. But something I got a little bit better than that is I was on the ground out of Homer Glen working for Ted Cruz, diehard Ted Cruz fan. This list that Trump's coming out with for Supreme Court nominees, I think if he was to put Ted Cruz's name at the top of that list, that could go a long way as far as unifying that conservative side of the ticket, squaring up and saying, hey, at the top of my list, this is what I will do if I am elected. put Ted Cruz on the bench.
That would make me vote. That would make me vote for Donald Trump. I just had a perfect VP idea. His daughter Ivanka, who he loves so much, he would love to have her working down the hall from him.
Not going same family. It's not going to happen. It's not going to be Trump and Trump. Or, well, I guess her last name is different, but nah, I don't think so. Holly and Hudson, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
2 points. Okay, after Cruz laid into Trump yesterday, I laughed out loud in Trump's speech where he says, I don't know if he likes me or not. And
yes.
I just thought that's Trump. I think our country's so emasculated that they're just looking for any kind of alpha counterpuncher male, somebody to just stand up for us. But keeping with the prom theme that you guys started earlier this week, Trump reminds me of the nerd that everybody jokingly votes for prom. And then when he becomes prom king, he shows up to school on Monday and he thinks he's going to affect Paul like he's somebody. You know, it's a big joke that was played on us. We're all going to wake up and go, oh my gosh, he really is the prom king.
Thanks for the call, Holly. Rick in Peoria. Hey, Rick.
That's Greg.
Yeah, speak.
Oh, okay. I agree with Amy and Carly Fiorina. I think she's. I don't think you should go after her right away. I think you should wait till the convention to let some time lapse in between the time Ted asked her to be the VP and Donald. But I agree with Amy. He really needs the woman vote, and I don't think that we want to give Hillary the vote. So let's give Carly the vote with the women, and the women almost are to the top position, but not yet. And Carly can, like Amy said, she can debate anybody, Hillary or anybody. And I think she's got the good credentials. And I think, but the main thing I think is that Amy, like Amy said, we got to have the women vote. We got to get some of that. 20, 30, 40% of the women, and I think that'll do it. But I think he's got to wait. He's got to give some time, though.
Thanks for the call, Rick. What about Sarah Palin? Give her another turn at the wheel.
You know, he did mention her yesterday. He thanked Bobby Knight. He thanked Sarah Palin, Dr. Ben Carson, which could be a possibility. He did bring up Carson's name.
Jeff in Mundelein.
Caitlyn Jenner.
Yeah. 2 words, Caitlyn Jenner. Yeah, good. Thanks.
Republican, you know, he gets a gay vote and really ticked off.
Thanks for the call, Jeff. Caitlyn Jenner says he's straight. I don't really know how to dissect it, but yeah. Right. Caitlyn Jenner, Bruce Jenner, still likes women.
Right.
So
they're transgender lesbians. That's what you call them. Didn't you get the memo?
Yeah, I can't keep track of all 71 different gender identities. Annie on the north side.
I think Alan West. I think that he could pull in the conservatives that don't like Trump. I do agree that Cruz would serve the country better in the Supreme Court, but I think Alan West can pull in the conservatives that maybe don't like Trump.
Well, that's an interesting choice. Thanks, Annie.
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one, Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Calls and text messages keep coming in. Who should be Donald Trump's vice presidential nominee? 64636, type in DA, then a quick comment or call us 312-642-5600. Numbers in the weather department, pretty cold for this time of year. A high just of 52 degrees with mostly cloudy skies. Then tomorrow, partly sunny, warmer, a high near 60. Any good news on the roadways? Here's Jim Telemonte.
Not much, Amy. Southbound 53 is at a standstill from Gulf to Irving Park, where there's a crash blocking both shoulders. The Edens, 35 minutes. Lake Hook to Montrose, outbound 25. The Kennedy, now 55 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, outbound 50. The Ike, looking at an hour and 20 minutes. Thorndale to downtown, an hour and 7 minutes from Manheim. Outbound 54 minutes to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour and 20 minutes. 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound an hour 10. Just a mess from the Rhine to Central. The Rhine is 30 minutes. 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State. Slow Cicero most of the way to the Hinsdale Oasis. Then from the Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue Curve. The Reagan Tollway has heavy delays. Farnsworth to Eola. Winfield to Yackley. And 83 to the Tri-State. Veterans Memorial. Boughton most of the way up to 290. I'm Jim Talamonte, Guardian Security Services Traffic Center.
Many of you own or manage growing companies, and you know that your entire business depends on your phones. If your phone service provider struggles to deliver your calls, it can mean lost revenue. That's often the case with an outdated phone system. The solution, well, it's a company that we use here at AM 560, Innovative Networks. They excel at providing innovative solutions to reinforce your company's phone infrastructure and enhance call flow. We truly appreciate how comprehensive, diligent, and cost-effective Innovative Networks was in providing solutions that scale as our business expands. Innovative Networks can even replace your outdated phone system at no cost and provide hands-on training to maximize your capabilities. You'll save money and be more focused on growing your business. Here at AM 560, we're thrilled with Innovative Networks, so follow our lead and call Innovative Networks at 312-453-7777. They're rated A+ by the Better Business Bureau. Call 312-453-7777 or visit go4inet.com. That's go4inet.com.
I've been very happy with Balance of Nature. You know what the funny thing is, even when I'm tired, I feel better than I have in so long. I really haven't gotten colds. It's just been great. I've been very, very pleased. More energy. I think it really works. I really do.
Working out, losing weight, and even in the best of times, I can't eat that many vegetables, so it's nice to know I'm getting them.
My husband got a cold, but I didn't. So, hooray! Thank God for Balance of Nature.
It's time you had a Balance of Nature experience in your own life. Call now. Accept and complete Dr. Howard's 120-day challenge to earn a free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751 to begin your road to better health. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
Dad, I'm really afraid of what's happening with the economy. There's too much civil unrest, too much terrorism, and unstable global markets. I'm tired of riding the ups and downs of the market. It reminds me of 2008. I was caught off guard then. How do I prepare for the worst now? What'll I do if the dollar collapses?
You gotta stop worrying, son, and take action. It's time to think about a precious metals private storage IRA or an investment in silver with the Gold Silver Group. Like I said before, you insure your house, your car, your kids, and your life. Don't you think it's time to insure your wealth?
Call Gold Silver Group at 800-943-0829. Learn how easy it is to set up your own precious metals private storage IRA and how you can qualify for up to $700 in free silver. Gold Silver Group can satisfy any of your precious metals investment needs. Receive your gold and silver fully insured and privately delivered to your door. Call Gold Silver Group, 800-943-0829, 800-943-0829.
AM 560, The Answer.
Other Trump VP suggestions from 815 Ann Coulter. No, she should be the White House press secretary.
I like this one. What if Trump pulls a Frank Underwood and lets the convention pick his VP?
630 Bernie Sanders. 847 Nikki Haley.
Kanye West.
How about Brad and Joliet? Not for VP, but Brad, you have a suggestion.
Yeah, I'd like to see Condi Rice. I mean, one of the smartest women on the planet. I'd love to see the discussion with Hillary with her job with Secretary of State. My God, if she was named as VP, I'd love to be a fly on the wall in the Hillary camp when that happens.
That's interesting, yeah. Thanks
Good
for the call,
choice.
Brad. And now, again, one of the things is you have to kind of factor in people that are willing to run with Trump, because I think there are some that legitimately will not. Marianne and Wilmette.
Wow, I like that Condi Rice suggestion.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I do like that, and I like Ann Coulter as press secretary, too. Wouldn't that be fun? But I just want to say, because I want to say his name is Scott Walker. I love him, and I don't know if he has any chance, but just love him.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Marianne. I think Scott Walker is going to run for re-elect. I think he's one of those people who is not going to tie his wagon to Donald Trump as a potential running mate. But Trump has made overtures before, said he wants somebody with political experience, and somebody obviously with military experience or foreign policy experience would be all the better. That's why some of these choices that have been mentioned are interesting.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper, hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
America has a serious narcotics problem. 90% of the world's narcotics are taken by Americans. They have a place, but when you're dealing with chronic pain, pain that doesn't go away or which frequently returns, there is a better way. You're masking the pain. We help you find and deal with the source of the chronic pain to get real relief. This is Ken Candido of Chicago Anesthesia Pain Specialists. We're serious players in pain. Our team are national leaders and we're educators in the treatment of pain. We will work with you to diminish or eliminate your pain and help you get your life back. Contact us, we will help you. You don't have to live with chronic pain. We treat all pain. We don't mask it with painkillers and narcotics that are not good for you and which can be addictive. I have a simple message for you. If you or someone you love or someone you know has chronic pain, contact us. Treating chronic pain issues is what we do. We can make it better. Get an appointment and let's talk. MyPainChicago.com, MyPainChicago.com. All the info is available at MyPainChicago.com. Let's make you pain-free.
Attention homeowners, rates are dropping to another historic low. Hi, I'm Wesley Hoagland with Westland Financial. Whether you're buying a home or refinancing, we can do this with no closing costs. That's right, no points, no fees. Even if you refinanced in the last year, we can still probably save you money. Save hundreds or thousands of dollars a year. The only way you can lose money is not to call Westland Financial. Call us at 888-455-3669. That's 888-455-3669.
Licensed by the Department of Business Oversight under the California Residential Mortgage Lending Act. NMLS number 3304. Not all loans apply. Equalizing lender.
We're so excited about our sold-out golf outing at the Bolingbrook Golf Club coming up on Thursday, June 16th to benefit Operation Support Our Troops America.
If you weren't able to get in this year, don't worry. You can still reserve a tee time at the Bolingbrook Golf Club anytime this spring or summer by visiting BolingbrookGolfClub.com.
And thanks to the sponsors who are making our golf outing possible.
Remax Professionals, Charity Golf International, Dr. Amy and Associates, MJ Miller and Company Jewelers in Barrington, Augustino's Rock and Roll Deli, and Pearl Mortgage.
AM 560, The Answer.
Chuck in Mount Prospect, the only person Donald Trump considers worthy to run with him is him, so Donald Trump will name himself as his own vice president. Well, that would also be historic.
Yeah, that would be.
Could happen.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, we're going to take more of your phone calls about VP picks, and I still think Ivanka Trump is first in line. But first, let's go back into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, good morning. The entire population this morning of Fort McMurray, Alberta, Canada, has been ordered to evacuate after a wildfire started destroying neighborhoods in that town of 90,000 residents. And those residents have been ordered to evacuate as flames have entered that city. Donald Trump is within reach of the Republican presidential nomination. Talking to supporters in New York, Trump cheered on his big victory in Indiana's primary.
We had a tremendous victory tonight. It was a tremendous victory.
That forced Senator Ted Cruz to drop out.
With a heavy heart, but with boundless optimism for the long-term future of our nation, we are suspending our campaign.
And for Democrats, the game is still on as Bernie Sanders surprises Hillary Clinton.
I would love to run against them, and I'm absolutely confident that not only we would beat them, but we'd beat them by a pretty large number.
Sanders, in fact, turning his eyes on a battle with Trump. Arizona Governor Doug Ducey ordering flags at half-staff today in honor of a Navy SEAL killed in an ISIS attack. The SEAL's high school track coach Rob Renwicki says he was devastated to learn of his death.
He was the happiest, go-luckiest boy in the world. Always a smile on his face, all the time. Everybody loved him, wanted to be around him all the time, made everybody happy, made everybody smile.
Keating was the grandson of Charles Keating Jr., a financier connected to the savings and loan scandals of the late 80s and early 90s. President Obama heads to Flint, Michigan today. He says he's getting a close-up perspective on the lead water crisis. A major supplier of frozen fruit and veggies is issuing a recall over concerns about possible listeria contamination. CRF Frozen Foods issued the recall last month and is expanding it. They include products sold at Costco, Trader Joe's, and Safeway stores. Officials say an Illinois woman shot in a drive-by shooting on a Wisconsin interstate has died. Sauk County Coroner Greg Hahn says Tracy Chakowski was pronounced brain dead on Monday. Meantime, police say the shooting was random and believe the suspect, Zachary Hayes, also shot and killed a man hours earlier in a Milwaukee suburb. A 17-year-old Matea Valley High School student is facing felony charges after police recovered an unloaded handgun from his backpack Monday. Police say the boy from Naperville made no threats. And Illinois lawmakers are discussing a bill that would provide more funding for higher education in the state. During the budget crisis, that measure cleared a Senate committee yesterday. Cubs over Pittsburgh 7-1. White Sox beat Boston 4-1. And the news, a service of Oscar Mayer beef hot dogs. When you think back to your favorite foods growing up, hot dogs are always on the list, especially Oscar Mayer hot dogs. But as you get older, you want to start eating more like a grown-up. And that's why Oscar Mayer beef hot dogs are made with the great grown-up taste of premium beef. Enjoy a childhood favorite, all grown up. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher tells you who he voted for in the New York primary.
I voted for the Republican that I feel will be the most qualified to lead this country out of the darkness of 8 years of Barack Obama, who's best poised to beat the Hillary machine, can inspire, enlighten, and lead this country. That's the Republican I voted for.
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Tea times, golf outings, driving range, golf academy, brunch, dinner, weddings, banquets, receptions. Find and do it all at the Bolingbrook Golf Club. Info online at BolingbrookGolfClub.com.
Mother's Day is this week, and Pro Flowers is offering an amazing special. 100 stunning blooms for mom plus a free glass vase for $19.99. Go to proflowers.com and enter the secret code 555. But hurry, this deal expires this Friday. 100 colorful blooms for mom for $19.99 plus a free glass vase. The only way to get this amazing deal is to go to proflowers.com. Click on the blue microphone in the upper right corner and enter the secret code 555.
Shipping charges not included. Satisfaction guaranteed or your money back.
You don't have to be a retail giant or government agency to be the victim of a costly data breach. If you run a website and collect customer data, your small to mid-sized business is just as likely to be targeted by hackers. The Barracuda Web Application Firewall provides cost-effective instant security against automated and targeted attacks, making this WAF a must-have for your SMB. Reclaim your network. Try a Barracuda Web App Firewall risk-free at barracuda.com/WAF.
7:36 in our Guardian Security Services Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. The inbound Edens has delays starting around Niles Center, 35 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 25. Kennedy, now an hour and 5 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, 30 minutes from Montrose, outbound 55 minutes to the airport. The Eisenhower, an hour and 20 minutes. Thorndale to the Loop, outbound an hour and 5 minutes. Stevenson, an hour and 20 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. The delay start at 126. Outbound, it's an hour and 5 minutes. The Ryan, 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. Tri-State, stop and go Cicero up to 31st. And from the Reagan Tollway to Grand Avenue, Veterans Memorial stop and go Boughton to the Reagan Tollway and Finley to 290. Southbound 53 jammed Gulf to Irving Park after a crash. Traffic is a service of Napa Auto Parts. More than 400,000 quality parts and over 90 years of experience, Napa can help you keep just about anything on the road. So stop by your local Napa Auto Parts store and keep it running longer, stronger with Napa know-how. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the AirComfort.com Weather Center. Clouds and sun, breezy and cooler with a high of 52, low of 39 scheduled for the overnight hours. Currently 45 at O'Hare. Next news is coming up at 8, and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Get Down to Business with Shalom Klein, powered by Tandem HR and sponsored by Everett College Funding. Heard Sunday evenings at 6.
If you're talking about it, I'll be talking about it. Dennis Prager here. Join me this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So, still taking VP ideas for Trump. Taking those all morning. This is a really good one, much better than even the House of Cards suggestion. From 847, regarding Trump VP, you know it's going through his mind. Vice President apprentice. Forget the convention picking it. Do a reality TV show to select the vice president running mate for Trump. That is brilliant. Well done, 847.
Really why I love our listeners. They're very smart.
That's very good. Question two for Trump supporters, and well, now, I mean, just those that have a center-right perspective. and will never vote for Hillary Clinton. Are you optimistic about this election? And are you optimistic about America under the stewardship of Donald Trump, the presidency, even assuming a Republican-controlled Congress as well that may temper some of Trump's excesses?
I don't know. I mean, I still have to forgive him for making all those disparaging, demoralizing comments about women. I mean, we had a caller earlier that said he's dangerously unstable. And I think yesterday proved how unstable he really is when he was talking about the JFK assassination, linking it to Rafael Cruz. I mean, that is not a normal thought pattern, especially for a politician.
Let me see if this helps.
Yes.
Who's I'm so happy? Yes. Give me a T. You got that T. You got that T. Give me an R. You got that R. You got that R. Give me a U. You got that U. You got that U. Give me an M. You got that M. You got that M. Give me a P. You got that P. You got that P. What that spell? Trump. What? Trump. What? Trump. Choo choo.
That is Diamond and Silk leaving the station on the Trump train. Who wants to join? That'd be a fun train.
But I just don't know where we're going.
No.
I don't like trains to nowhere.
Yes. If you don't know the destination, you could wind up anywhere. Don on the south side, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, I guess this is Don. My name's Don. Susanna Martinez, the governor of New Mexico, the female Hispanic governor of New Mexico.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Don. Other people have suggested Susanna Martinez. Here's the thing. You remember Susanna Martinez? She spoke at the 12 convention. Here's
Not
the thing.
too memorable.
Right. Well, here's the thing about Martinez.
Yes, please tell me about it.
So it's a swing state. It's a small state, but a swing state. I think it's 5 or 6 delegates.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I know you're in the Diamond and Silk mode. I got it. It's they're energizing.
Yeah, they are.
So swing state, female, Latina. Got it. Does she have the chops to be a national candidate in the television age, in the digital age?
No.
I'm not certain. I'm not saying she shouldn't be looked at and she shouldn't be vetted, but I think there is, there is that
There's
quality.
no star power. I'm sorry. I'm just going to say it. Okay?
Well, that's part of it, I suppose. I mean,
and people don't really know her name. I mean, we do because we're in the industry, but I don't think a lot of people, if you ask who's Suzanne Martinez.
Yeah, but that's all about rollout. Everybody's going to know who everybody is by the time November runs around. You don't need to come into to this with huge name ID. You need to come into it with chops. Paul Ryan had the policy chops. Mm-hmm. Wasn't a stellar VP candidate, if we're being honest, in 12. And not just because people disagree with some of his policies. I just mean as a national candidate. Scott Walker came into this race certainly with policy chops and an accomplished record as governor, but didn't have the, to your phrase, star power as a national candidate. You know, that kind of stuff matters. And oh boy, if you don't think it matters, look at who your nominee is. Owen in Willowbrook, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, I'd like to see him go after Bill Clinton for vice president because he doesn't like her, and he'd probably like to see her go away.
Somebody texted in
That's not bad.
that he should choose Chelsea Clinton as his VP nominee.
Ooh, that would be a really nice piece of jujitsu.
I still like Carly Fiorina. Bring back Carly. She's only been unemployed for a day, right?
Scott on the west side.
Hey, Dan, thanks for taking my call. I suggest that we have Amy Jacobson as vice president so we can finally get her off the show and you can get a decent
Scott. Thanks for the call, Scott.
Scott, when are we going to have our beer summit, Scott?
Here's the problem with that. Amy's not 35.
Right.
So she couldn't ascend to the presidency.
I can't.
29 forever.
Thanks, Scott.
Love
you.
Rick Springfield. Or Rick in Springfield.
I like Rick
Springfield. I'm also a big fan of the guy, too. I don't know if you ever heard his music. But
how about
Jesse's girl?
Yeah, how about Jesse's girl for vice president?
No, I got a better idea. We got to beat the Democrats to the punch because eventually they're going to go after this demographic. We need somebody with White House experience, right? We need somebody who's trained and who can jump through hoops.
Oh, boy.
Let's go for Bo, Obama's dog.
Hey,
thanks for the call, Rick. Yeah. That would be groundbreaking. George and Moni.
Hey, Dan. Hey, and you got to get the guy from Bozo Circus who used to spin the plates. Pretty soon he had 27 plates up there, and he'd keep them all spinning without falling. That's the guy.
Thanks for the call, George.
I'm still waiting to hear back from Bozo Circus. I applied. And do you think there's still hope?
He's not talking about Cookie. What about
No, not the creepy
Wizzo?
one.
How about Wizzo?
Wizzo was a little creepy. I think Wizzo spent too much time at the bar.
Did I ever tell you my Bozo Bucket story?
Oh, did you get on the show?
No.
Oh.
I got robbed by my cousin. The arrow landed on me. And
you
my
were on the show?
No,
but I mean, you made it to the show.
Well, I was in the audience.
Right. Well, I'm still waiting to hear back.
At the tender age of 26. Okay, and the arrow lands on me, and my cousin runs up there. He gets to do Bozo Buckets. Of course, he punks out after the fourth bucket. I would have gotten to the sixth bucket.
Because you're really good with balls, white balls, basketball.
That is correct,
volleyballs.
as you well know. And good hand-eye coordination.
So the
I would have got
landed on you?
I would have got the $50 in silver dollars. Wasn't that? And a bicycle. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I mean, you want to understand why sometimes I get angry. I've never gotten over being robbed from my opportunity to be on Bozo Buckets, and I don't think I should. Not until there's justice. Megan and Wilmette.
Hey,
Megan.
Hey, how you doing? Hey, there can only forget all those other knuckleheads those guys are talking about. There can only be one VP, perfect for Trump. Sean from Elmwood Park.
Of course, yes. That's the knucklehead that should be his VP.
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
So you got to tell me what happened.
He was sitting next to me, and he just ran up. He was quicker off the draw because I was waiting to be called on like a respectful young man.
Oh, now you don't wait in line anymore.
It's an outrage.
You start the line. And right now, we're going to draw the line on your weather forecast. The showers have moved out of the area. They're now in northwest Indiana, southwestern Michigan, excuse me. And we're going to mostly sunny skies today, a high of 52 degrees. And then tomorrow, partly sunny and a little bit warmer, a high of 60. How's the inbound Kennedy doing, Jim Telemonte?
It's heavy, Amy. It's an hour and 5 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, 30 minutes from Montrose, 22 in the Express. The Ohio feeder's jammed. Outbound 55 minutes downtown to O'Hare. Edens, 35 minutes either way between Lake Cook and the Junction. The Eisenhower, it's an hour and 22 minutes. Thorndale to downtown, outbound an hour and 5 minutes. Some of those delays are on the extension. Stevenson, an hour and 20 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound an hour and 5 minutes. Ryan is 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. Southbound Lakeshore Drive, jammed. Bryn Mawr to North Avenue, 40 minutes. Hollywood to Monroe. Northbound Tri-State stop and go. Cicero to 31st. And from the Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue curve. Veterans Memorial, heavy delays from I-55 most of the way to 290. Southbound 53 is bottled up from Palatine Road to Irving Park after a crash. That has eastbound 390 jammed. Irving Park to 290 at 53. I'm Jim Talamonte, Guardian Security Services Traffic Center.
Guys, when it comes to your health, do you know your numbers? Now, you might know your blood pressure and cholesterol, but do you know your testosterone number? I know my number, and that's because Low T Center makes it easy. You walk in, take a simple blood test, and because their lab is on site, you'll know your results within minutes. If you've noticed a decline in energy, stamina, or libido, you may have low testosterone. Low testosterone makes you feel tired and grumpy. It can also raise your cholesterol and cause weight gain. Low T Center's experienced medical staff will educate you on the benefits and risks of testosterone replacement. At Low T Center, services are covered by most health insurance companies, and Low T has flexible hours for your convenience. So do yourself a favor and call 630-409-4305. Tell them Dan Prof sent you. That's me. That number again, 630-409-4305, or go to lowtcenter.com.
Hey, Sean Hannity here, and I am excited to tell you about Chicagoland's finest gun shop and indoor shooting range. Now, I'm talking about Maxson Shooter Supplies and Indoor Range. Now, it's just northwest of O'Hare in Des Plaines. Maxson is Chicagoland's first NSSF 5-star facility and one of only 70 nationwide. Now, they protect your family and our Second Amendment rights, which are so important, and that's why Maxson focuses on safety, proficiency, education, and they take pride in the area's highest quality facility. Now you can hone your skills on one of Maxson's 20 handgun, rifle, and shotgun stations. Plus the classes that you need include Illinois concealed carry and 2 on-staff gunsmiths for your repair and customization needs. For more information, call 847-298-4867 or visit MaxsonShooters.com. That's Maxim, M-A-X-O-N Shooters.com. Maxson Shooter Supplies and Indoor Range, Chicagoland's finest gun shop and indoor range. 847-298-4867.
I'm Dan Proft with an upstream idea brought to you by the Illinois Policy Institute.
27. Illinois state employees, on average, receive total compensation 27% higher than their private sector counterparts. State employees made nearly $4,000 more in wages and $13,000 in benefits than private sector employees. More than half of state workers will retire before the age of 60 with a guaranteed state pension. The state is in a financial death spiral with ground impact imminent. So keep this in mind as Governor Bruce Rauner breaks off contract talks with AFSCME, the state's largest public sector union. AFSCME has been unwilling to give on its demands for annual step increases of 3.8%, in addition to annual general wage increases. The lowball estimate of the cost of what AFSCME demands is $1.6 billion. That's $1.6 billion more from Illinois families who already pay the highest property taxes in the nation. This is Governor Rauner's moment of truth. He ran for office saying he is not a politician. He said he is a businessman who will make the difficult decisions to turn around the state he loves. We're about to find out if that's true. For more Upstream ideas, visit upstream-ideas.com. I'm Dan Proft.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, we're talking Trump VPs. Let's clear the deck. We still got some suggestions rolling in. Diamond and Silk for co-VPs. Marco Rubio's wife.
Oh,
see what they did there? Rudy Giuliani. That's interesting. Adrian and Wilmette, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah. I'd like to voice my opinion and have John Bolton, Ambassador Bolton, for vice president.
You'd have the foreign policy chops.
Thanks for the call, Adrian. I think more in the State Department or NSA would be appropriate. But, okay, Joan and Aurora.
Yeah, this is a serious pick. From day one, I said it's going to be Jeb Bush, no matter who gets it, because they need Texas and Florida, and that will help Trump. I think Trump has hurt the pro-life movement and the Tea Party people. He's really kind of marginalized us, and that's my thought on his candidacy.
Thanks, Joan. I appreciate it. I don't think he needs a Bush to win Texas. Verlin on the South Side.
How you doing? You brought up something about being optimistic. I'm optimistic more and more every day. I think Donald Trump will keep one promise. He'll be the greatest job president since Ronald Reagan. And I guess since I threw in with Donald Trump, I'm on a certain person's bad side from Elmwood Park. Well, I'm going to tell Sean and I'm going to tell everybody else out there something. I'll take the old Indian doctor with the latex glove on his right hand giving me my first rectal exam before Hillary Clinton becomes president of the United States. That's how strongly I'm against that woman being president.
Thanks for the call, Verlin. That is a strong statement against Hillary Clinton, perhaps even too strong. All right, switching gears, we're now happy to be joined by Jay Swoboda. He's the CEO of Dabble.com and DabbleKids.com, and this caught my eye because it's in Chicago. It's a bunch of classes that you can take, and he'll explain. But the class or the event, the thing you can do that caught my eye, Chicago Corruption Walking Tour.
You're going to be walking a long time. Is that a 3-day tour?
Right, and I think it has a longer waiting list than the Naked Restaurant in London. To explain the concept of the Chicago Corruption Walking Tour and the larger play of Dabble.com and DabbleKids.com, we're now happy to be joined by Jay Swoboda. Jay, thanks for joining us.
Hey, good morning, guys. How are you? Thanks for having us.
So let's start with the Chicago Corruption Walking Tour. I mean, explain it and then how it relates to what your company's doing more generally.
Well, the Chicago Corruption Tour is fantastic. This guy, Paul Dowling from 1001 Chicago Afternoons, he's a teacher during the day, but has developed quite a knowledge of, how the land scams kind of built the Midwest. 1900 Alderman, bought votes with free beer.
No, nothing's changed. Yeah.
Nothing changed. So, it's only a mile for the shorter version of the tour, or I think about 2.5 miles for the longer version. I'm an ultra marathoner, so I think I could maybe handle the longer ultra marathon. I'm trying to talk him into the ultra marathon corruption tour. We've got a ways to go. But
do you go in front of Blagojevich's house?
I think that might be a longer walk.
Yeah, we're up to Ravenswood. Yeah.
What about you're going to run?
Do you get to meet any? I mean, because there's so many. Do you kind of intersperse in the different tours many of the convicted felon politicians that are still alive from Chicago and Illinois?
Absolutely. Paul's the expert on this one, but we talked about how a punk club turned into the center of River North. How a king-hating mayor distracted from Al Capone, why a newspaper bought a CD bar, lakefront land grabs, all the TIF projects that have kind of helped build Chicago into what it is today, and obviously put our current budget in the state in not such a great position. So,
Jay, I want to know more about the fish that could climb a tree.
The fish that can climb a tree. I have yet to take the tour because there's a wait list.
Yeah,
really?
Exactly, like I said.
And they're making you wait too. Okay.
It literally sold out. And probably once some press got out about the tour, it sold out in 24 hours. So
you should. You should have.
Paul's working hard.
You should have like George Ryan be a docent. I mean, he's retired. He needs things to do. But before we let you jump, tell us about Dabble more generally. This is not the only offering that your company is providing.
Absolutely, yeah. Dabble.co actually, just as
.co, sorry.
.com. The people, unfortunately, that letter M would have cost me $35,000, and I thought I could put it to better use hiring somebody. So the Dabble.co's got hundreds of classes, cooking classes, welding classes, woodworking, glass blowing, really, bringing people back to share their skills in person. And the classes themselves, range from free to $100 with kind of an average price point of around $30 or $40. And we've got a really big presence, over 50,000 users in Chicago. I'm here in Denver actually this morning calling in because we're out here building Denver, and we're growing jobs and helping people monetize their skills and passions. And while it's great for individuals to be able to share that, we do our main kind of focus and kind of what Dabble does best is we're an engine for small business to market themselves and get people in their door with people who want to pay dollars to learn what they have and learn more about their product or business. So it's a really great small startup, 5 years old this month, and I took it over 2 years ago, and we built our team to 10 people employed, and 8 of them are in the city of Chicago.
Very cool. All right, Jay Swoboda, CEO of Dabble.co, Dabble.co, and DabbleKids.com. I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to taking the Chicago Corruption Walking Tour, and I probably need to take the glass blowing class as well because I tried to do glass blowing when I was in Cabo, and it didn't go terribly well.
Well, anybody with little ones out there, DabbleKids.com just launched, and it's drop-in classes for anybody with little ones all around the city of Chicago as well. We'll be growing that nationwide as soon as we can.
Excellent.
I've got 2 for you.
Jay Swoboda, CEO of Dabble.co and DabbleKids.com. Jay, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks a lot, guys. Have a great morning. Take care.
And he joins us on our Turnkey.pro answer line.
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer. And now, a moment of objectivism with your Ron Brook and the Ayn Rand Institute.
Many people think capitalism places the focus on materialistic things like expensive clothes, iPhones, and cars over the spiritual values that supposedly really matter, like love, friendship, and art. But in reality, capitalism is indispensable for matters of the spirit. Before capitalism, if your loved one lived far away, all you had to connect was a letter that could take months to reach them. Today, your loved ones are just a Skype or FaceTime call away. Or hop on an airplane and you can attend your sister's wedding across the country. With the click of a button, you can listen to music that moves you from anywhere in the world. Capitalism makes all of this possible and is indispensable for the human spirit. From the Ayn Rand Institute, I'm Yaron Brook.
This has been a moment of objectivism from the Ayn Rand Institute. To learn more, listen to the Yaron Brook Show, Saturdays at 4 on AM 560, and visit ariradio.com.
Why are Ayn Rand's ideas so compelling? Her worldview, her philosophy, expressed dramatically in her novels Atlas Shrugged and The Fountainhead, embodies the ideals stated by the Founding Fathers in the Declaration of Independence and sets forth the requirements necessary to achieve a flourishing life. She called her philosophy objectivism and said it was a philosophy for living on Earth. Today, decades after her death, objectivism continues to stir debate and inspire passion for the spirit of individualism and the enduring American dream.
Hi, I'm Dr. Howard. In my travels, I occasionally hear a Balance of Nature ad on the radio. These products are the culmination of my life's work, and I'm often surprised at my emotions that arise when people talk about how they have improved the quality of their life.
one thing that I'm amazed about is that prior to taking this, I was having hot flashes like almost every day, sometimes periodically, and haven't had them since then. So by all means, that's the one thing that I'm very grateful for.
These people are real. I'd like to thank the Balance of Nature customers for trusting me and for allowing me to help them in their pursuit of health.
Call now. Accept and complete Dr. Howard's 120-day challenge to earn a free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
7:59. Here are the stories we're watching. The Lucas Museum plans are in doubt. Sox and Cubs win. WIND Chicago News Time 8.
Fox News Radio. I'm Dave Anthony. Ted Cruz is out, so Donald Trump's moving on.
Lion Ted is now, we will now put that aside.
Trump's win in Indiana makes him the presumptive Republican nominee, saying it's time for the party to unite. And looking ahead to November, Trump says he may fundraise, no longer just self-finance his campaign.
I think it's most likely that I will because, you're talking about $1 billion.
Cruz's exit was a surprise. Fox's Evan Brown was at Cruz headquarters, now live in Indianapolis.
Now, Dave, Ted Cruz's announcement that he was ending his campaign was tough for his supporters gathered here last night to take in. And it doesn't mean they would support just any Republican either, especially looking forward to November.
And if nobody else comes out and starts a third party, I'll be writing in Ted Cruz.
That's John Hinton, a supporter of Cruz. He even volunteered for the campaign as a coordinator in his hometown of Lafayette, Indiana. Other supporters left the room with tears running down their cheeks, Dave.
Evan, John Kasich isn't dropping out, and he'll face questions from the media later this morning. Bernie Sanders is re-energized after he won Indiana's Democrat primary. Fox's Jeff Manasso live in South Bend.
Dave, a big upset here in Indiana for Bernie Sanders with his 18th primary or caucus win over Hillary Clinton, telling supporters last night that he's still in it to win.
I think we can pull off one of the great political upsets in the history of the United States, and in fact become the nominee.
We did not hear from Hillary Clinton last night, who spent little time or resources here, though, who also could still win big with the help of superdelegates, as she also shifts her focus on Donald Trump and the general election. Dave.
Jeff, a giant wall of flames is burning a town in Canada.
Well, it's a disaster, and I find that that's not fair. They didn't even let us take our things.
She says she's lost everything as a wildfire destroys entire neighborhoods in Fort McMurray. Some 80,000 residents evacuated. A newspaper in Minnesota is reporting that Prince had arranged to meet with a California doctor to try to kick an addiction to painkillers shortly before the musician's death. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
Sun and clouds, 47 degrees. Winds gusting out of the north at 14 miles an hour. 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Officials say an Illinois woman shot in a drive-by shooting on a Wisconsin interstate has been declared brain dead and is only being kept on life support for now to preserve her organs for donation. Sauk County Coroner Greg Hahn said Tuesday Tracy Chukowski was pronounced brain dead on Monday. Tuesday, he says her condition is not reversible. Hahn says it takes several days to line up organ donations. Chukowski was shot while driving with her family Sunday back to their home in the suburbs after a weekend at the Wisconsin Dells. Police say the shooting was random, and the suspect, Zachary Hayes, also shot and killed a man hours earlier in a Milwaukee suburb. Proceedings continue for a University of Illinois student accused of suffocating her newborn infant in a dorm bathroom. Lindsey Johnson of Moni appeared in court yesterday on multiple charges, including murder. Any chances of the Lucas Museum coming to Chicago are sinking by the day. Friends of the Parks now says they oppose any lakefront site for the project. Lucas's wife responded by saying they are now seriously pursuing locations outside of Chicago. Passengers are now allowed by Amtrak to take bicycles on board those Hiawatha trains running between Milwaukee and Chicago at a cost of $5. Cubs over Pittsburgh 7-1. White Sox beat Boston 4-1. Sox plan to officially cut ties with pitcher John Danks today. The news, a service of TimeshareExitTeam.com. If you could get out of your timeshare safely and legitimately, would you? TimeshareExitTeam.com has a 100% guarantee. They'll get you out or give you a full refund. 844-321-EXIT, 844-321-EXIT. 8:04, time for the AM 560 Business Beat, a service of Turnkey.pro. And from the Fox Business Network, here's Jenny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, Time Warner, the media, entertainment, and cable provider, reported a better start to the year, helped by growth at Turner and HBO. Time Warner says it would have had an even better quarter, but Warner Brothers' Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice was not as successful as last year's movies American Sniper and The Hobbit: Battle of the Five Armies. Time Warner is about to merge with Comcast. Royal Dutch Shell's profit is sharply lower, though it was able to cut costs, which offset the impact of weaker oil and gas prices. Aeropostale is hoping to stay in business and reorganize under its bankruptcy filing. The teen chain currently has 800 stores. It plans to close 154 in the U.S. and Canada. Priceline is making more money. The online travel company reported a higher profit, but it's offering a disappointing forecast. The Dow closed down 140 yesterday. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Ginny Cosola.
8:05 in Chicago. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
The Indiana primary is over.
Together, we left it all on the field in Indiana. We gave it everything we've got. But the voters chose another path.
Ted Cruz folds his tent.
We are suspending our campaign.
Now it's Trump.
We're going to love each other. We're going to cherish each other. We're going to take care of each other.
The ride to the White House is crazy.
We're going to win. We're going to win in November.
What happens next happens here. This is your election station. AM 560. The Answer.
After a rough day on the range, a fella can get a bit saddle sore. That's why I use Blue Emu Original Super Strength Cream. It works fast and penetrates deep to soothe my tired muscles and joints.
And he don't stink.
And I'll tell you one thing, I had no idea this stuff was so darn handy.
Blue Emu Original Super Strength Cream. Available at all major retailers. It works fast for long-lasting soothing of tired muscles and joints.
And you won't stink.
If you have a new phone, any phone, smartphone, iPhone, listen up. Every 2 seconds, one of us will accidentally break our phone. So guess what? Insuring, protecting your phone and all the phones in your family is a really smart idea. But if you have insurance from one of those big cell phone companies, I promise you, you're paying way too much. Switch to SquareTrade.com phone protection today, and you'll save hundreds of dollars a year per phone. For example, if you have Verizon or Sprint, well, they can charge $11 a month for phone insurance. Now, for a family of four, that's $44 a month, plus up to $199 deductible when you do break your phone. Now, SquareTrade has a family protection plan. Well, that's less than $4 a month per phone. Well, that means a family of four is saving over $500 a year. So stop overpaying for phone protection. Protect all your phones with SquareTrade instead. Just go to SquareTrade.com. That's SquareTrade.com.
SquareTrade does not cover lost or stolen items. Savings based on 2-year iPhone plan with one claim compared to Assurian total equipment coverage as of August 2015.
8:07 in our Guardian Security Services Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Inbound Kennedy delay started Harlem. It's an hour and 5 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, 30 minutes from Montrose, 25 in the Express. Outbound 40 minutes to Montrose, 55 to the airport. Edens, 35 minutes either way between Lake Cook and the Junction. The Eisenhower. Looking at an hour and 10 minutes, Thorndale to downtown. Crash in the right lane on the off-ramp to Central. Outbound an hour and 5 minutes to Thorndale. Stevenson an hour and 20 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound an hour and 5 minutes. Ryan, 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. Tri-State southbound, stop and go 120 to 176. Northbound from Cicero to 47th and Roosevelt to North Avenue. Adams Tollway all gummed up from Higgins to 53. Reagan Tollway has scattered delays from the Fox River Bridge to Washington and very slow Highland to the Tri-State. Veterans Memorial slow from I-55 up to 290. Southbound 53 from Palatine Road to Irving Park. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the AirComfort.com Weather Center, here's our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Today, mostly cloudy, breezy, and cooler with a shower in the area, high 52. Tonight, partly cloudy and breezy, chilly with a low 39. Partly sunny and warmer tomorrow, high 60 and a low 44. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Currently 45 at O'Hare. Next news, 8:30. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Artistic Dentistry. Online at artisticdentistry-pc.com. Excellence in the art and science of dentistry.
Good morning. Welcome to your Wednesday morning briefing. Here's what you need to know to start your day.
And so, with a heavy heart, we are suspending our campaign.
Just so you understand, Ted Cruz, I don't know if he likes me or if he doesn't like me, but he is one hell of a competitor. He is a tough, smart guy.
Get on the Trump train! Yeah.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. And Amy, Trump has a bit of a conundrum because he needs to unify the party around his nomination. That means bringing in Ted Cruz and all of the Cruz supporters, 550 some odd delegates worth. But he's got this problem.
What's the problem,
If
Dan?
he accepts Cruz's support,
Yes.
that could potentially implicate him and make him an accomplice after the fact to the assassination of John F. Kennedy.
Oh, that's right.
So I don't know how he is going to walk that line, particularly, kind of given the revelations.
Yes.
So this is a difficulty, and this is a question that's too heady for me to answer.
And
So
we also have another problem, too, though. John Kasich is still in the race. I mean, what are we going to do about him? He's in fourth place in a two-man race.
in a one-man race.
Yeah.
We'll do the same thing we've been doing for the last several months.
Right.
Ignore him. That's what we should do.
John who?
But in terms of the potential need for a reconvention of the Warren Commission and other things related to revisiting the JFK assassination, we're now joined by Pulitzer Prize-winning columnist at the Washington Post and Fox News contributor George Will. George, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Glad to be with you.
So you penned a column over the weekend that generating a bit of heat in certain circles, suggesting that conservatives shouldn't be asking, what do we win if Trump wins? They should be asking, what do we lose if Trump wins? And that the GOP and the conservative base needs to stop Donald Trump.
Well, I think that's right. An ideology, a political philosophy in a democracy is nothing without a party to be its vessel. And the Republican Party, run by Donald Trump, is an anti-conservative party, a celebration of untrammeled executive power, ignoring the separation of powers, attacking free trade, attacking private property, attacking freedom of speech. So the question is how to try and get the party back. That's job number one.
And how can he do that, though? What would be his first step if that's, truly he wants to, develop as a candidate and as a person and as a conservative? What can he do?
He can't. He can't do this because this isn't what he is. He's made quite clear what his views are. He's an open book, and he's read himself to the country now quite clearly, not to say loudly, and he is what he is. And he can, with some justification, say, look, what I am has been ratified by the nominating process. Why should I change? Here's his problem. Well, here are one of his problems.
Yeah.
Mitt Romney got 93% of self-described Republicans. 93%, that's extraordinarily high. There's no way Donald Trump is going to come close to 93% of self-described Republicans.
Well,
Mitt Romney got only 17% of the minority vote. Donald Trump will be extremely hard-pressed to get even 17% of the minority vote. With women, he's almost certain to do worse than Romney. With young people, if current polls are any indication, Trump is going to do much worse than Romney. Where is he going to do better, and where is he going to do better with sufficient numbers to counteract all his demonstrable weaknesses? He enters the general election, will enter the general election, with much higher public disapproval than any major party nominee in the history of our country.
But it seems to me that's kind of melding the two questions. Can he win as opposed to should he win? The can he win is a separate discussion from should he win, because you're saying he shouldn't win. And I wonder if you would go so far as to say that Trump, just especially with the description you just offered, Trump is more likely to be a third term of President Obama than is Hillary.
I wrote in a column, I think 3 months ago now, that if nominated, he would run to the left of Hillary Clinton, seeking the Bernie Sanders votes. And I think he's already showing signs of doing that. Ben Sasse of Nebraska, freshman senator, extraordinarily talented man, put it rather well, again, a few months ago when he said, in a choice between two demonstrably dishonest New York liberals, how do you pick? I'm really looking forward to hearing Trump supporters explain why the difference between Hillary and Trump is a matter of high constitutional and philosophic principle.
Well, I mean, maybe that's not the argument. The argument is, look, this is an election. It's an exercise in moral relativism, and we know what we're going to get with Hillary. And there's no upside. With Trump and a Republican-controlled Congress, just assuming that for sake of argument, at least we have some potential upside, for example, with Supreme Court nominees, starting with the Scalia replacement.
Well, it could be. If I have no idea how Mr. Trump would go about picking Supreme Court nominees. But you just a moment ago said, assuming a Republican Congress. I don't know what the Las Vegas book today is on the Republicans holding the Congress, but I'll bet the odds are highly against it. Kirk in Illinois, Portman in Ohio, Toomey in Pennsylvania, Ayotte in New Hampshire, Johnson in Wisconsin. All these, this morning, you'd have to say, are on life support.
But what if Donald Trump were to come out and say, I would love Ted Cruz to be a nominee, a Supreme Court justice?
Well, that would be a very good thing to do. How he would get it through the Senate, I don't know. Although a large number of Republican senators would vote to confirm him just to get him out of the Senate.
Exactly.
Such as the strained relations between Cruz and his colleagues.
But do you have concerns at all, though? I mean, look, there are concerns abound. I understand this. But, you know, there was a lot of talk, I remember this 20 years ago, of playing this game with George Herbert Walker Bush. He needs to be punished for violating his No New Taxes pledge. Let's let this dopey Southern governor in there for a term, and then we'll come back in 96 and get a real conservative. And it didn't quite work out that way. You know, the whole kind of here's how it's going to play out over 4 years is a dangerous game.
Absolutely. There's an old saying that overnight is a long time and a week is forever in American politics. I'm not saying that one should play a long 4 years, 8 years game. I'm just saying you look at these candidates, are either Mrs. Clinton or Mr. Trump suited by philosophy or temperament to the country's current needs? I think not.
Well, yeah, but so
I don't think we're going to say anything.
Then how are we here, right? I mean, my explanation for Trump is people living small C conservative lives, hurt financially, ridiculed culturally, and the GOP was nowhere to be found. And on the other side, you've got Hillary inertia, but the revolt and the momentum is really with Bernie. So both parties are beset by this this tumult. But we're here with Trump versus Hillary versus maybe Gary Johnson, I guess. And so what's a conservative to do if you're not going to play the long game and say, I can't throw in with Trump?
Try and recapture the Republican Party as a vessel of the conservative philosophy. That's job one. Because nothing else matters if you don't have a political party to carry your ideas forward.
What did Donald Trump do well, though? I mean, he really tapped into the anxiety about our jobs and made the middle class think that their jobs are going to be outsourced unless he becomes president. Was there anything other message that he sent home that really resonated with voters?
Well, I think he's tapped into a kind of nationalism. People feel that America is not being respected. I think he's tapped in. People say he's tapped into anger. I think the American people are less angry than sad. I think they feel something is slipping away, that something they valued is becoming attenuated. And I think they're right in the latter. This is a melancholy moment. And this is not a moment to despise Trump voters. I don't. Trump himself is, it seems to me, to say no more, a flawed vessel of understandable indignation and disaffection on the part of the country. But we have to remember at this point H.L. Mencken's definition of democracy. He said it is the belief that the people know what they want and deserve to get it good and hard.
Yeah, right.
It's coming.
All right, George. Well, let's end on an optimistic note. Since it's clear that it's going to be a Cubs-White Sox World Series.
Yes. 19-6. That's a good record.
You think White Sox win that 4-2? Is that your prediction?
No.
Oh.
I will be at Wrigley Field Thursday night and Friday afternoon.
Oh, are you throwing out the first pitch or something?
No. I did that once and did not distinguish myself.
Storm the booth.
But I think a North Side, South Side World Series would be just fabulous.
There you go. George Will, Pulitzer Prize-winning columnist at the Washington Post and Fox News contributor. George, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it.
Glad to be with you.
Oh, and he joined us on our Turnkey.pro answer line. The George Will.
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM 560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
I don't think George Will is going to be supporting Donald Trump anytime soon. Your reactions, your phone calls coming up, 312-642-5600. Grab a line. And plenty of sunshine right now, but pretty cool for this time of year. A high only of 52 degrees. And then tomorrow, partly sunny, a bit warmer, a high of 60. But the good news is Friday, it's going to be mostly sunny. It'll feel like summer around here, a high near 80 degrees. Anything monumental on the roadways? Here's Jim Telemonte.
Pretty big delays, Amy. Northbound Veterans Memorial, it's stop and go from I-55 all the way up to 290, and southbound 53 is slow. Palatine Road to Irving Park after an earlier crash. Edens, 25 minutes. Lake Hook to Montrose, outbound 35. The Kennedy, holding it an hour and 5 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, outbound 55 minutes. The Eisenhower, an hour and 10 minutes. Thorndale to downtown, outbound an hour and 5. Inbound Stevenson, an hour and 15 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. It's 48 minutes from the Tri-State, outbound 54 minutes to 355. Ryan is 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. Lakeshore Drive, southbound jammed. Bryn Mawr to North Avenue, and slow 18th to the Stevenson. Northbound from the Stevenson to Jackson. Tri-State southbound, slow 120 to 176. And northbound, Cicero to 47th and Roosevelt to North Avenue. Jim Talamonte of the Guardian Security Services Traffic Center.
The George Will? Yes. Looking to secure financing on a new home or refinance your existing home.
Yes, Ralphie.
You need to do what I did, and that's called David Hochberg over at Pearl Mortgage. If you have an FHA loan, listen very closely to this amazing success story. Joey heard David encouraging borrowers with FHA loans to call him about eliminating PMI and reducing their interest rate, and Joey is really happy that he called. David helped Joey refinance out of his FHA loan, eliminate his PMI, lowered his rate, paid all his closing costs, and saved him over $250 a month. Wow. One phone call to David increased Joey's family's cash flow by over $3,000 a year. So if you have an FHA loan and would like a free evaluation to see if you could eliminate your PMI and lower your STRESS, call David Hochberg right now, 312-751-1333, or visit am560david.com. David has helped thousands of AM560 listeners, but guess what? He can't help you if you don't call. 312-751-1333. That's 312-751-1333, or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage, an equal housing lender, Illinois residential mortgage licensee, 4358 NMLS 19186.
Hey, it's important businesses who share conservative values work together and support each other so our companies thrive. If you're a manufacturer, I encourage you to call my very good friend Laz Kulchar from Automated Systems. As a software and systems integration company, they create custom solutions to make your production lines, facilities, and plants run way more efficiently. Imagine less downtime, more speed, and fewer rejects. It doesn't matter if you're a Fortune 500 company or a startup. Automated Systems delivers solutions for your toughest automation challenges. At Freedom Summit, Laz wowed the crowd with this story of escaping communism, coming to the U.S., and building a successful company. And I know that Laz and Automated Systems can wow your company by making it more profitable. If you even suspect that Automated Systems could benefit your manufacturing company, then call Laz at Automated Systems at 844-HIRE-ASI or visit SYS.com. That's 844-HIRE-ASI.
Do you know what a RIA is? It's a real estate investor association, and it's where smart people go to obtain wholesale houses, obtain no money, no credit financing, meet local buyers, sellers, and investing partners, and receive local market intelligence and training. Don't buy houses retail. That's ridiculous. And please don't waste your time and money going to a get-rich-quick seminar from a traveling pitchman. Come network with local Chicagoland real estate investors that are just getting started or taking it to the next level. Come join the largest real estate investor network in Chicagoland. We meet on Tuesday, May 10th at 6 p.m. at the Chicago Marriott Schaumburg on Martingale Road. And you can register to attend for free by calling 800-868-4914. 800-868-4914. This month's topic, how to get all the money you need for real estate deals. Call 800-868-4914. Write it down. That's 800-868-4914 to attend any of our upcoming meetings and receive a valuable real estate training program for free. 800-868-4914. Brought to you by the Schaumburg Wealth Club.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, well, George Will's comments on Donald Trump have drawn a lot of reaction, so let's get some of it. How about Marge in Harwood Heights? You're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hi, good morning. They were talking about Donald Trump not being conservative. For me, conservative means jobs, economy, military, strengthening the country. That's my definition of conservative. And he embodies all of that. And as far as the Republican Party and uniting it, he will do that. But hopefully he does not bring the Republican Party back as we have seen it to be. And maybe he invigorates it to something new and something better.
Okay, thanks for the call, Marge. Joe in Burbank.
Yeah, how's it going?
Hey.
Yeah, all right. George Will, the only thing missing from him every time he talks is his poodle skirt, saddle, shoes, and pom-poms. He's the establishment of republicanism, of establishment republicanism. And, by the way, Jesse the Body Ventura for vice president.
Oh, there you go. Thanks for the call, Joe. Thank you for the mental images, too, of Jesse the Body in a feather boa and George Will in a poodle skirt. I appreciate that. Very helpful. Ted in Oak Forest. Hi, Ted.
Yeah, after the first debate and when Trump destroys and embarrasses Hillary, everybody's going to jump on the bandwagon, and there's only going to be one debate, because she will not debate him more than once.
I don't know about that. Thanks for the call, Ted. I don't think that's how it's going to play out.
Pressure on them, yeah. They'll have at least 4 or 5 debates.
Oh, Harry in Barrington.
Hi, how you doing, guys?
Hey, Harry.
You know what really, well, gets my goat. Do they say that anymore? Gets my goat?
They do now.
Yeah, I brought it back. Anyway, he seems more concerned with maintaining the status quo of the Republican Party, of which he is, considers himself, the pinnacle of, I guess, rather than reversing the course of what's happened to this country. Now, is Trump going to reverse the course? Maybe. Nope. Boy, you better want to stop Hillary at this point. That's where the focus should be, and he's completely out of touch with that, it seems.
Thanks for the call, Harry. The only thing I would say in defense of George Will, I think he is thinking about conservatism as a philosophy, as a worldview, as the basis of a system of governance, and the Republican Party is the vehicle for it. He's been critical of the Republican Party and the fecklessness of the leadership and so forth as well. So I just kind of want to make that point. Let's be fair in terms of what Will is saying. Oh, Chris in Des Plaines.
Oh, guys, I am depressed this morning. If people go back in history and start questioning how Donald Trump could become president, all they have to do is listen to the callers into this show. I mean, we got people saying that George Will should wear poodle skirts, the guy who was like the most vocal conservative in public media for the last 30 years. Conservative means whatever I want it to mean. I mean, we're doomed. We are doomed.
Thanks.
Have a great Wednesday.
Thanks for the call, Chris.
Have a good one.
Happy note. Ralph and Rantoul.
Yeah, I would get off the ledge. It's not time to get on the ledge just yet. And I thought I did hear the rustling of a poodle skirt. I think that if you don't vote for Trump, if you don't if you're a conservative, you may not like what's happened, but there's a reason. And it's all the reasons that we've been talking about over the last several months. Paul Ryan doing the budget deal with Obama, giving him everything he ever asked wanted and never asked for, all of the caving, all of the, we gave the House back to the Republicans, we gave the Senate back to the Republicans. They didn't do a doggone thing trying to take apart Obamacare, which is rammed down our throats without a single Republican vote in 2010. The reason Trump is where he is right now is because of the utter lack of action and weakness shown by the Republican Party. Just like Osama bin Laden said, given the choice between a weak horse or a strong horse, you pick the strong horse. Right now, Trump is the strong horse. Is he the horse I would have picked? I don't think so. I would have much rather had a conservative Christian, which admittedly is a stretch to get one. I would have much rather have had a more conservative person. But at least Trump isn't going to be afraid to take Hillary apart. When she starts lying, when she starts spreading all of her pablum, Trump's going to be right at it. I just hope that Trump the Mope preps for these debates. If he doesn't prep, he's doomed. Don't go off of his ego. Prep, Trump. You better prep, buddy.
Thanks, Ralph.
The stories you need to know to start your day. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
If you're serious about selling your home, now's the time. Supply is low, and it's a great seller's market in many Chicagoland neighborhoods. Now, I've done the research, and along with my Salem radio colleagues, Dennis Prager and Michael Medved, we all recommend that you call Saul. Saul Z and the Z team are so good that if they don't sell your home in 59 days, they'll sell it for free, guaranteed. Saul is ranked 106th out of 1.2 million agents by the Wall Street Journal. His proven marketing system is so effective that he sells on average a home every single day, attracting multiple full-price offers. Now, that demand helps sell your home fast at the highest price. It's a no-brainer. If I was selling a home in Chicagoland, I'd definitely call Saul. 888-346-0666 or call Saul, SAUL.net. Call Saul.net or 888-346-0666. You'd better call Saul.
Hi, I'm Lex Howard, CEO of Balance of Nature. Statistics show that most people will listen to this commercial 7 times before they finally purchase Balance of Nature. Don't be a statistic. Take action to determine your future.
I just have to tell you, I love Balance of Nature. I've been telling everybody about it. I can't believe how good I feel. Got my husband taking them now, and he's trying to get his mom to take them, because rarely do I take something where I feel a difference. If I'm just taking vitamin D or my multivitamin, I don't really feel a difference. But when I started taking these, I feel a difference. And I said, I can't tell you how good I feel.
Begin giving your body the fruits and vegetables it needs every day. Accept and complete Dr. Howard's 120-day health challenge to earn a free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Speaking of jobs, the April jobs numbers, the initial from ADP, don't look very good. We'll discuss with Steve Moore, Chief Economist of the Heritage Foundation, plus what a Trump economy may look like. That's all at 8:38.
And don't move my stuff. Don't touch my cheese or my dairy farm. We'll explain. But first, into the newsroom we go. Here is Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, good morning. Good morning, everyone. We have 46 degrees, and those numbers that Dan just talked about, today's productivity labor cost report and worker productivity down for the second straight quarter. That leads into a nation's economy that added a disappointing 156,000 private payroll jobs last month, down from a revised 194,000 in March and much less than most economists expected. Now that Donald Trump has a clear path to the GOP presidential nomination, he's reportedly vetting possible running mates. Multiple outlets reporting that Trump is getting set to do just that, but wouldn't offer up a list during a morning appearance on Fox News.
Well, I'm considering a lot of people, to be honest, and I'll let you guys know, but I really am. I'm considering a lot of people, and we want to have great at every level, whether it's VP or anything else. We want greatness.
Bernie Sanders confident in his chances against a Donald Trump battle in the race for the White House. The Vermont senator spoke to reporters last night. after being named the projected winner of the Indiana primary.
I would love to run against them, and I'm absolutely confident that not only we would beat them, but we'd beat them by a pretty large number.
Sanders says Trump does not have the demeanor to be commander-in-chief. A serviceman killed in an ISIS attack this week in Iraq has been identified as Navy SEAL Charlie Keating. Arizona Governor Doug Ducey ordering flags to be flown at half-staff in honor of the Navy SEAL. President Obama heads to Flint, Michigan today to get a close-up, he says, on the lead water crisis there. Texas authorities say they found an explosive device under a bridge not far from Waco. McLennan County sheriffs say water cannons were used to disable the device. More than 80,000 residents of the Canadian town of Fort McMurray in Alberta are being told to evacuate ahead of a destructive wildfire that has already burned parts of that town. Cubs beat Pittsburgh 7-1. White Sox over Boston 4-1. And the news service of Napa Auto Parts, now through May 31st at participating Napa Auto Parts stores. You can get a Napa conventional motor oil with great low prices. Keep your ride running longer, stronger with Napa Know-How. 8:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher tells you who he voted for in the New York primary.
I voted for the Republican that I feel will be the most qualified to lead this country out of the darkness of 8 years of Barack Obama, who's best poised to beat the Hillary machine, can inspire, enlighten, and lead this country. That's the Republican I voted for.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Tea times, golf outings, driving range, golf academy, brunch, dinner, weddings, banquets, receptions. Find and do it all at the Bolingbrook Golf Club. Info online at BolingbrookGolfClub.com.
We're so excited about our sold-out golf outing at the Bolingbrook Golf Club coming up on Thursday, June 16th to benefit Operation Support Our Troops America.
If you weren't able to get in this year, don't worry. You can still reserve a tee time at the Bolingbrook Golf Club anytime this spring or summer by visiting BolingbrookGolfClub.com.
And thanks to the sponsors who are making our golf outing possible.
RE/MAX Professionals, Charity Golf International, Dr. Amy and Associates, MJ Miller and Company Jewelers in Barrington, Augustino's Rock and Roll Deli, and Pearl Mortgage.
Kid, if something in this facility breaks, bends, or bursts, Grainger's got our back. 20 cases of disc springs from Grainger.com, new rotary encoder ordered on Grainger's mobile app, a dozen splash goggles from the local Grainger branch. What more could you want in life? Grainger has over 1 million products for all our facilities' needs. 1 million. That's a 1 followed by 6 zeros, kid. Everything we need whenever we need it. Get it? Got it? Good. Call, click Grainger.com, or stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, let me introduce you to my really good friends at Guardian Security Services. Talk about passion. Man, these guys get it. They provide on-site security officers to a wide variety of businesses in Chicagoland. Gated communities, colleges, financial institutions, you name it. Guardian Security Officers are on-site forming lasting relationships. They're so passionate about exceptional service, their client retention ratio is over 95%, and they just celebrated 41 years in Chicago. They thoroughly screen every applicant, typically only accepting 5 out of 100 officers. They hire the best, so you have the best. Easy to reach and backed by a 24-hour service center and exceptional training. If you're unhappy with your on-site security or door staff or anticipate a need in the future, man, contact Guardian Security Services. Tell them Joe Walsh sent you. Call right now, 708-385-3300. That's 708-385-3300.
It is 8:37 in our Guardian Security Services Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. The inbound Kennedy has stop-and-go traffic from Harlem to the Burns Circle. It is an hour and 5 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, 30 minutes from Montrose, 25 in the Express. Outbound 40 minutes to Montrose, 55 to O'Hare. Eden's 25 minutes, Lake Hook to the Junction, outbound 35. The Eisenhower, an hour and 10 minutes, Thorndale to downtown, outbound 55 minutes. Stevenson, an hour and 15 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 54 minutes. Ryan, 30 minutes, 95 to downtown. There's a crash in the Express at Pershing in the two right lanes. Tri-State southbound slow 120 to 176. Northbound, it's really slow from Cicero to 31st and Roosevelt to North Avenue. Eastbound Adams Tollway slow Higgins to 53. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center. Cloudy, breezy, cooler. High 52. Partly cloudy, breezy, and cold overnight. Low 39. Clouds and sun 46, but winds out of the north at 14. Next news at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by North States Steel, building America with products made in the USA. Visit northstatessteel.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, that music means it's time for Steve Moore from the Heritage Foundation, and we'll get to Chief Economist Steve Moore momentarily, but I want to give him a little forewarning because we had George Will on at the top of the hour, and there's been a lot of George Will pushback.
George Will is not going to be falling in love with Donald Trump anytime soon.
So I don't want to ambush Steve Moore. I want him to make sure he understands what he's getting into. Let's take a couple calls real quick. Lee and Hammond, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, hi. I can't believe what I'm hearing from these neocons. George Will talk like he thinks he understands the will of the American people. He said we're sad. We're ready to run these clowns out of D.C. on a rail. These guys are so out of touch, it's unbelievable. These Republicrats, demonicans. I mean, these guys have been 30, 40 years of running this country right into the abyss of international involvement and playing Superman, running around all over the world with these whacked out trade deals and these military operations overseas that do the American people no good. The American people are sick of the lot of them, and that's why you've got Bernie Sanders on the left and Donald Trump on the right.
Thanks,
We
Lee.
don't want anything to do with the establishment. We're sick of these idiots.
Thanks, Lee. Appreciate it. Tom in Elk Grove.
Hello?
Hey, Tom, you're on.
Yeah, I do agree with the prior caller, but, conservatism now is sort of harkens back to, the Goldwater era. Americans don't want to embrace neoconservatism with the endless warfare, the surveillance state, the open borders, and Trump represents a cry for some common sense. How can you have the specter of terrorism and all the money that's been spent and have completely open borders? The nonsensical policies have to stop, and that's what Trump hopefully will bring to this.
Thanks, Tom. Sean from Elmwood Park.
Uh-oh.
You're going to chase the clowns out, and you're going to use P.T. Barnum to do it. Huh, geniuses? All a Trump victory proves is that people do not understand what free markets are. You're going to have Stephen Moore on, and I'm going to bet Stephen Moore a fine cigar at my tobacco store that this year will be the best economic year for the next 5. That Trump Hoover will double down, and what he will create will be a mass hyperinflation depression at best. So what won last night wasn't just Planned Parenthood, the IRS, and the EPA and big government. But what lost last night was the American economy as in whole. And I will be explaining, hoisted by your own petard, to these morons that have been calling in support of the bell-bottom old woman Trump. So do you prefer your tyranny with a zipper or without? That's the real choice.
Thanks, Sean. Nice segue to Steve Moore, Chief Economist of the Heritage Foundation, who joins us now. Steve, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Boy, you guys really did set me up this morning, didn't you?
Yes. How about it? So where are you in the continuum of never Trump to never Hillary to all grin and bear it?
Well, I'm never Hillary. I mean, Hillary would be a disaster. We've had, she would run basically for 4 more years of what we've had. I disagree with the last caller. And by the way, I love what the first 2 callers say. I'm in total agreement with them. I think that if Hillary is elected, we will have a depression because we can't afford that. She wants to increase the debt. She wants to increase taxes. She wants to increase spending and government power and regulation. That will throw the American economy into recession. Look, I love Trump's message. It's anti-Washington. It's anti-political correctness. It's anti-political power, and it's basically making America first again. And I think that's a powerful message. I do agree with the caller who said, the big losers here are the neocons. I think we are going to have under President Trump, and Trump is going to win this election. I told you guys, by the way, on this show about 10, 12 weeks ago that Trump was going to be the nominee, and I was right about that, and we weren't going to go to a contested convention. And I'm telling you now that Trump is going to beat Hillary. He's going to beat her fairly handily. I think he's going to beat her by 6 or 7 points, because people don't want 4 more years, and they do want a change of direction, not just in the country, but in the Republican Party.
Well, there's a new poll out this morning from CNN showing Hillary 13 points ahead of Donald Trump.
I know, but those same polls, at this point had Jimmy Carter 12 points up against Ronald Reagan, and Reagan won 41 states. But you're right, Amy. Look, he's got a big rebuilding job to do. There's no question about it. Especially, you and I had this conversation last week. How does he bring back Republican women? And I know you're inching in his direction, right, Amy? We're working on you every week.
Yeah, good luck. Like a stubborn mule up a steep hill. But back to Hillary Clinton. Does Hillary Clinton have a plan to jumpstart the economy? Has she ever come out with anything?
Well, that's a great question. First of all, let me just step back a minute. I mean, obviously the big story is that Trump won the nomination last night, but the other big story, here's Hillary. She's the presumptive Democratic nominee, and she can't even win 50% of the Democratic voters in Indiana against a crazy socialist. I mean, that tells you how weak Hillary is. I think a lot of Americans don't want another Clinton, just like they didn't want another Bush. It's one reason I don't agree with these polls. What is her economic agenda? That's a great question, Amy. What is she running on? She basically went to West Virginia, and she said she's going to put coal miners out of business. That's a good message. She said that she's going to raise taxes on the rich. That's really going to help the American economy, because those rich people are businessmen and women who create the jobs in this country. She is talking about hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars of new spending, if not trillions, to add to the national debt. I don't see almost anything in her economic agenda that's positive. The one thing I'll give her the nod on, though, I'm a free trader, as you guys know, so I think Hillary might be better on trade than Trump.
Well, that's a big thing, and so I mean, Trump the mercantilist. I mean, how do you kind of just walk past that issue?
Well, look, I've met with Trump a couple times with my buddy Larry Kudlow, and I think what Trump is saying on trade, he's not talking about 45% tariffs any longer, but what he's saying is we need somebody who's going to sit at these negotiations against China and negotiate better deals. Look, I'm a free trader, but you guys have to admit, China, lies, cheats, steals. They don't honor these trade agreements. They're stealing our technologies. They're stealing our intellectual property, our patents, our products. We send them over there, and then they just, create copycat technologies. They don't pay us for that. So I think the idea of maybe having somebody a little tougher at the negotiating table, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's a low bar. Speaking of the economy...
it is a low bar.
Speaking of the economy, at present, 0.5 percentage point GDP growth in the first quarter. April...
1.5%. Woo!
ADP projecting 156,000 jobs in April, which is not even replacement number. So what about the economy the rest of this year as the run-up to a new president?
Yeah, so if I'm Donald Trump, if I'm running Donald Trump's campaign, if I were Corey Lewandowski, the message of this campaign is very easy. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want 4 more years of what we've had over the last 8 years, then Hillary Clinton is your woman. If you want change, if you want a new direction for America, then you got to vote for Donald Trump. This is not a complicated election, folks. If you love what's happened in the last 8 years and you think we should have 4 more years of 1% to 2% growth, then Hillary will give you that.
All right, he is Stephen Moore, Chief Economist of the Heritage Foundation. Steve, thanks as always for joining us.
America great again. What's so complicated about that?
He's got his hat on. All right, Steve, thanks.
Okay, bye, guys.
And he joined us on our Turnkey.pro answer line.
You've made the switch, and it feels so good. You've switched to Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Things are moving. Lucas Museum may be gone before it even arrived. We'll explain. But first, here's your forecast. We have some sunshine. Woo! It's so exciting. A high of 52 degrees. And then tomorrow, even warmer, partly sunny skies, a high near 60. But the big story is Friday because summer's going to return. Mostly sunny skies, a high near 80 degrees. Travel times, any greatness on the roadways. Here's the great Jim Telemonte.
Greatly poor travel times. Thanks, Amy, for the compliment. The CTA Red Line, there's a mechanical problem on a train at Armitage. Those inbound or southbound trains, All backed up. The Edens Expressway, 25 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose, that's not bad. Outbound 35. The Kennedy is an hour from O'Hare to downtown, 40 minutes from Montrose. No savings in the Express. The Ohio feeder's a mess. Outbound, still 55 minutes downtown to O'Hare. The Eisenhower, an hour and 10 minutes. Thorndale to the Loop, outbound 55 minutes. Stevenson, an hour and 15 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 50 minutes. Ryan is 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. Tri-State southbound, slow 120 to 176. And northbound, stop and go, Cicero to 31st and Roosevelt to North Avenue. Jim Talamonte, Guardian Security Services Traffic Center.
What's your caliber? Black Rhino Concealment knows many AM560 listeners carry, like this guy, or plan to and want the best holsters. For concealed carry, range practice, or competitive shooting, Black Rhinos are comfortable and safe. Every holster is handcrafted by veterans of a 100% virgin Kydex. Am I saying that right? With American-made fasteners.
This sounds really naughty.
I don't know all the materials. From precision fit and finish to secure retention and quick draw, a Black Rhino is the finest holster at a modest price. Backed by a lifetime material warranty and workmanship guarantee, Black Rhino has tactical carrier and concealed carry systems for every caliber. You and your firearm, Betty, in my case, deserve a Black Rhino. The Second Amendment protects our right to bear arms, and Black Rhino protects those arms. Black Rhino Concealment. We hold your caliber against you. Visit Black Rhino Concealment. I like that tag. We hold your caliber against you. Very creative. Visit blackrhinoconcealment.com or call 847-783-6499 for showroom info. Use the promo code AM560 for a 10% discount on your first order. Their number again, 847-783-6499.
This is Pete. I've had 3 missing teeth and have been thinking for a while about getting something done to get them replaced. I went to Dr. Neruzzi at Fox River Periodontics to see what they could do, and I'm glad that I did that. The staff there was fantastic. Dr. Neruzzi made sure I was comfortable during the entire process, always checking to make sure there was no pain. All my visits were very pleasant, and I'm glad I had it done. Another piece that made it fantastic was they worked with me on the payment. As all of us know, these are not inexpensive items to do, so they worked with me on the payment options as well as with my insurance carrier to help minimize my out-of-pocket cost. I feel so much better now that I've had my teeth and my dental implants put in. I feel more confident as I'm walking around. For those of you out there that are missing teeth and thinking about doing this, I would recommend you see Dr. Neruzzi and his staff. They're great, and I would highly recommend them going forward.
This is Dr. Neruzzi. I personally guarantee your happiness with your implants. Go to implantsforme.com.
For missing teeth, dental implants are wonderful. The advantages are fantastic. Just remember, implantsforme.com. Implantsforme.com.
My name is David Hochberg, and I'm Vice President of Lending at Pearl Mortgage. If you're looking to purchase a new home or refinance your existing home, give me a call. Joyce called to lower her rate and pay her loan off in 27 years. I helped Joyce secure a 27-year fixed loan, saved her $45 a month, and paid all her closing costs. $45 a month might not sound like a lot, but Joyce will apply the savings to her new mortgage payment to pay her loan off in 25 years and save her over $20,000 in mortgage payments. I lowered Joyce's rate, payment, and saved her over $20,000 in mortgage payments. If you want to see if I could help you like I helped Joyce, give me a call at 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. I've helped thousands of AM560 listeners, but I can't help if you don't call 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage, an equal housing lender, Illinois Residential Mortgage License D4358, RMLA, NMLS 19186.
Coming up next, it's me, Mike Gallagher, right after Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy on AM 560, The Answer.
So, Amy, it's Revenge of the Friends of the Park for the Star Wars Museum. Oh, excuse me, the Lucas something blah, blah, blah museum.
It's the Lucas Museum that will feature artifacts from the Star Wars. I have a better Chewbacca than you. So, Friends of the Park, they're not making this easy because first, he wanted to have it in our parking lot where we tailgate for Bears games. And then he wanted to tear down McCormick Place East, but Friends of the Park said absolutely not. They have a better plan, a plan that they've been pushing.
Mr. Emmanuel, tear down that McCormick Place.
No, what they want and what I want and what a lot of people want, the old Michael Reese Hospital site. Near 35th Street in Lakeshore Drive.
Fundamentally for us, our issues are about, preserving the lakefront. Geographically, it's not really that far from the sites that have been discussed.
Yeah,
So,
35th Street. But you know what the problem with 35th Street is?
It's not on the lake.
Well, it's near the lake, but it's a little dicey area.
Well, but
and,
it's
they don't
not,
want to get their hands dirty.
Well, it's also not a part of kind of the tourist center. I mean,
Right,
it
but we
makes
can move
sense
it
from
south.
It makes sense from their perspective, from the Lucas Museum perspective, to be around tourists like convention traffic and so forth. But it doesn't necessarily make sense from the city and city taxpayers' perspective. I understand that. So it looks like George Lucas is taking his Ewoks and looking for another place to house them.
Well, yeah, hours later, Lucas's wife, friend of the city, Melody Hobson.
Friend of the city?
Yeah.
What is that?
Well, she's from
is that
here.
Is that her title?
No, she's from here. Oh my gosh, they shut down the Promontory, the Point, to have her wedding there. Please.
So it doesn't make her a friend of the city.
Well, she issued an emotional statement,
Not my
Dan.
friend.
An emotional statement. Grab your tissue.
Uh-huh.
That all but threw a towel in this whole project. Quote, we are now seriously pursuing locations outside of Chicago. If the museum is forced to leave, it will be because of the Friends of the Parks. And that is no victory for anyone. As an African American who has spent my entire life in this city that I love, it saddens me that young black and brown children will be denied the chance to benefit from what this museum will offer. Excuse me. And refusing to accept the extraordinary public benefits of the museum.
Wait.
I'm not kidding you.
Are white kids not allowed to go to the museum?
Apparently not.
Oh.
In refusing to accept the extraordinary public benefits of the museum, the Friends of the Park has proven itself to be no friend of Chicago. Take that.
Friends of the Park.
My kids can go because they're brown.
Friends of the Park will be cast as Sith Lords in the forthcoming installments of the Star Wars. You know what? That's actually what they should do. Melody Hobson.
Yeah.
And what's the new ED at Juanita Irizarry?
Yeah.
The new ED at Friends of the Park. Square off with saber match. What do we call those from Star Wars?
Sword fight.
What do we call those from Star
They're
Wars?
lightsabers.
Oh, lightsabers. Yes. Square off
Yeah,
lightsaber.
Watch it.
Yeah.
It's like a mosquito killer.
That's how we'll settle this.
Yeah, so we don't know where this is going to go from here, but that letter is just, it's a threat. I mean, they really might move. The problem is San Francisco, where they live, didn't want it.
Right.
Their city council, they let the people decide. No one wanted a Lucas Museum there. So maybe he could just keep his stuff in his garage.
He's got the space.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
There are two kinds of pain. Pain that goes away and the worst kind, chronic pain. If